reverses field. Flutie on the move. Trying to buy some time to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Today it's the Bills and the Redskins from Washington. We'll come back with the opening kick and a special tribute to the late Walter Payton after this.
Finally, a polished brass finish that holds up under siege. Brilliance for the kitchen. From Delta, it's guaranteed to shine for life. Delta, the faucet.
Dream big, win big. Enter to win the ultimate kitchen or bath makeover at www.deltafaucet.com/dreams.
Kate works in the city of E, the first virtual place on the internet, built by SAP, used by 10,000 companies and millions of people. When she needs medical supplies, her choices are endless. The world is her market. And by saving hours of time and thousands of dollars, she helps save something more important than both. MySAP.com. Welcome to the City of E.
Welcome back live from Redskins Stadium. Today it's the Bills and the Redskins. Right now we check in with PA announcer Phil Hochberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join the Redskins and the Bills in a moment of silence to honor the memory of Walter Payton, the NFL's all-time leading rusher and a hero for the ages. Thank you.
Walter Payton passed away earlier this week. Mark, you played against him a number of years in the NFL. What memories do you have?
Memories I have is he was a fantastic football player, and more important than that, he was a fantastic human being. And January 1988, we played the Chicago Bears in the playoffs, and little did anyone know at that time that that would be Walter Payton's last football game.
Walter Payton will go down as, if not the greatest rusher of all time, one of the top 2 or 3. Guy played with such passion, played for bad Bears teams early in his career, and then ultimately he won the prize, the Super Bowl. That's what he had been waiting for. He had never gotten out of the first round in the first 9 years of his NFL career, and boom, they've got the defense, they've got Ditka, they've got McMahon, and obviously Walter Payton was the constant.
And he was the constant and the key to that football game. And what a tremendous football player. And he would take it to you if you're a defensive player. He would dish out the punishment to you. And at that time when we played the Bears, they beat the Washington Redskins to get to the Super Bowl. And as I said before, a fantastic human being. And it's just sadness for everyone in the NFL.
We're underway. Mitchell hands it to James Thrash, trying to run it to the outside as he crosses the 30-yard line, and some chicanery to start play for the Washington Redskins after winning the coin flip. Antoine Winfield made the stop after the 33-yard return, 6 from Mitchell and then 27 from Thrash. So the Redskins will have good field position to start play on a 1st and 10 from their own 34. Davis in the backfield, double tight end set to open play with Alexander and Jenkins. Motion man is Westbrook. Johnson on a handoff. Stephen Davis trying to twirl his way ahead as he gets to the line of scrimmage, but Phil Hansen wrapped him up down low. Brad Johnson, for those who thought the Redskins were giving away too much for Johnson, think again. He has paid off big time after giving up 3 draft picks in acquiring him from Minnesota. You have to reconsider that thought if initially you felt, hey, what are the Redskins doing here?
Right now it looks like a steal of the deal for the Washington Redskins.
In motion, Westbrook, Davis and centers. In the backfield, Johnson will throw it for the first time and makes the connection to Larry Centers at the 37-yard line. Sam Rogers making the tackle. They picked up 3, and it sets up third down. Redskins offense, Andy Heck and Keith Sims have really solidified that left side of the offensive line. Raymer, Johnson, and John Jansen stepping in first year to start at right tackle. Stephen Davis, Larry Centers, Albert Connell, Michael Westbrook, and Steven Alexander. 4 of those 5 players are having career years. Larry Centers is just a part of the offense instead of being all of the offense like he was in Arizona for many years. Out pattern, it's caught. Michael Westbrook for a first down into Buffalo territory, but a flag is down. 23 yards through the air. Westbrook may have pushed on the play. Ken Irvin was involved. Let's see how the officials call it here. Our referee is Ron Winter.
Illegal contact. Number 27 of the defense. Penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
It is Irvin called on the penalty.
And it looked on the play that it was Michael Westbrook that pushed off at the end of the play. We're going to take another look at it. Tight coverage by Ken Irvin on the outside. Michael Westbrook, a physical player, has his arm on Irvin, pushes off right there. Irvin pushes back. Right there, I don't know about that penalty. It's an offensive push-off, but it's fair to say that both of them are fighting for the football.
So Westbrook may have gotten away with one. It looked like the contact was initiated by him, at least on the push. Davis and Sellers now in the backfield. Jenkins, the motion man. Once again, they'll go into their bag of tricks. It's Westbrook on the end around. Michael Westbrook getting some open running room and forced to the outside after a pickup of 11. This explosive offense is certainly making the most of opportunities early on.
And it's misdirection for the Washington Redskins. This is the reason why they're doing misdirection, the speed of the Buffalo Bill defense in their pursuit. They want to outrun the pursuit of the defense and confuse them, get to the outside. They're not sure if they can run on this Bills defense. That's why you see the trick plays. You want to circle the defense, get around them, get them flowing one way, turn around, hand the ball off, and go the opposite way. Smart play calling by Norv Turner, the head coach of the Washington Redskins.
4th carry this season for Westbrook. He now has 21 yards on the ground. Play action. Johnson stepping up, he's in trouble, and spun down by Joe Cummings. Cummings getting the start for the injured John Holisek, and a sack. The Buffalo defense looks like this. Up front, Bruce Smith only has 2 sacks on the season, along with Ted Washington and Phil Hansen. That's the starter defensive line. At linebackers, it's Northern, Coward. We mentioned Cummings stepping in for Holisek and Rogers. Smith, Schultz, Jones, and Irvin. They're in the secondary. On 2nd and 14, Johnson way back in the pocket. Stephen Davis. Davis crossing the 20-yard line and spun down just shy of the 10. Henry Jones making the tackle, but a pickup of 20 on 2nd and 14.
And Brad Johnson pays the price. He gets nailed by Bruce Smith. He sacrifices for the team. And here's another play. He spins around. He tries to fool the defense, getting him going to the left. Dumps it off to Stephen Davis, but it's the yards after catch. Stephen Davis will not go down. He will punish the defense. It takes 2 players to bring Stephen Davis down. I love it when Stephen Davis gets their yards after catch, but Bruce Smith, he's always just a little too short this year, only 2 sacks, but he makes Brad Johnson realize he's going to be in his face the entire afternoon.
Washington in the red zone. They've scored on 24 of 26 red zone possessions this season. Here's Davis trying to take it straight ahead. Carries a tackler on his back as he does move the football inside the 10 for a pickup of 4. And Henry Jones, the first man to get there. Davis played fullback for this team last year, and he told us the other day that it gave him great insight to now play tailback, to know what the fullback goes through day in and day out.
Absolutely, and it was better for him to learn the offense and opposing defenses playing the fullback position. Now he realizes how valuable a fullback is in front of him because they take a lot of hits, and he can read off those blocks by his fullback much better because he understands what their job is.
On a 2nd and 6 from the 8. Straight ahead again, it's Davis. With a head of steam, he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. The NFL's highest scoring offense has struck first.
And Stephen Davis just bullying into the end zone, following his blockers up front. doing an outstanding job. Corey Raymer and the rookie John Jansen getting excellent blocks, leading Stephen Davis in the hole. This is why it works. They get their blocks. Big Trey Johnson right there. He engulfs linebacker Cummings and pushes him back past the goal line. But Stephen Davis follows his blockers, and they just create a path to the end zone. Stephen Davis, outstanding season in the NFL, leads the league in rushing.
12th rushing touchdown for Davis, leading the NFL in that category as well. And the Washington Redskins came in with a reputation of putting points on the board. They're not disappointing here in the first.
Yeah, let me get this straight.
Yes.
Are you actually saying I don't have to pay you a separate commission every time I trade a stock?
Exactly.
I'd pay an annual fee instead.
Right.
Is anyone getting
If
this?
we don't pay you a commission every time we trade, what's your motivation?
It's just like always, Ann, your best interest.
Could you just explain it again?
Maybe what it is the fee is based on the value of our portfolios. So when we succeed, they succeed.
You'll have to be patient with us. This is all very new.
Let's be honest. There's really no such thing as a gracious winner. You might say things like nice game or shake your opponent's hand. But no matter how humble you are on the outside, deep down on the inside, you're saying, I'm better than you are. The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Better than Accord or Camry. Boy, we just love saying that.
Smell this. Ooh, it's green, it stinks. And it's, hey, boss, Marty! Marty! Hey, Marty! Who buys this stuff? It stinks!
Well, Fletcher, the people who buy that stinky cheese also buy 92% of the miniature vegetables we sell. Wow, look at the margins on miniature vegetables.
How can he know that?
He's just making it up. No, I'm not.
When Don's Old Flame returns,
We made a good couple, Nat.
will Yasmin be able to keep her cool?
Water under the bridge.
And on the Nash Bridges CBS Friday.
Once again, the Buffalo Bills find themselves in a first quarter hole. Washington has scored on its first possession behind Stephen Davis's 8-yard touchdown run. And now Brett Conway will kick it off for the Redskins. Kevin Williams is the deep man for Buffalo, standing at his own 5. Conway on the approach. And a short kick. Williams takes it in at the 13. Williams trying to break it inside. He was unable to do so, but did get out to the 32-yard line after Mike Sellers made the tackle. Doug Flutie, this team has struggled on offense of late.
Is it me, guys? Or do we really look ridiculous?
Man, for free Bud Light, I'm doing 70s night.
Right on, brother.
Shut the door! You're letting in a draft!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
They're lining up a lot of heavy machinery out there. Call the insurance company because we're about to do some property damage today.
Here comes the snap. Matthews back, rolling right, can't find his man. Here comes the blitz. Simmons.
The one game that hits so hard, your mama's mama will feel it. NFL Blitz 2000 from Midway. New 4-player mode, customizable play editor, and more sledgehammer quality fun than ever.
Oh, mama, tuck me in. I'm ready to go. Night-night.
They were 4 kids who wanted to start a band.
When you come from dirt, you do anything to escape it.
And wound up starting a revolution.
This is an instrument of Satan.
Got a deal.
Yeah!
Follow the story of the heartaches. Through the good times.
You're pretty cool for a teen idol.
And the bad times.
There's a lot of one-shot wonders out there. Is that what you want?
What mattered most was the music. Shake, rattle, and roll, CBS Tonight.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC, home of the new Triple Crunch sandwich, Blue from American Express, and by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Redskins have the 7-0 lead with 10:45 to play in the first quarter. Buffalo's first attempt on the offensive end. They start out with a 2 tight end set. Jay Remersma and Bobby Collins. Jonathan Litton by himself in the backfield on a 1st and 10 from the 32. On the ground, open play. This is Litton putting the helmet down and trying to drive ahead as he gets to the 35-yard line. Basically the entire Washington defense in on the stop after the 3-yard gain. Doug Flutie avoided the first 3-game losing streak of his life last week. And it just goes to show you, Mark, even when he doesn't have his A game, he can find a way to win a game for you. That's what he did against Baltimore.
And he was terrible, he admitted to us, the first 58 minutes of the game, but never count Doug Flutie out. The last 2 minutes, he pulled it out for the Bills.
2 receivers set up to the left side with Remersma in motion. Flutie on a give for Litton. Tried to cut it, couldn't do so. Picked up a yard on the play, setting up 3rd and 6. Matt Stevens, the former Bill, making the tackle. Take a look at the Buffalo offense. They're happy to have Reuben Brown back. 5-year veteran now in there at left guard after the hamstring injury kept him out of action last week. Backs and receivers. Jonathan Litton getting the nod here today as the starter. And Eric Moulds is back after missing 2.5 games with a hamstring pull. A 3-receiver look on 3rd and 6. Flutie operating out of the shotgun. Here's Flutie stepping up, good protection over the middle and connects with Remersma. Down at the 40-yard line of Washington. In chatting with Doug Flutie yesterday, he felt that they could move the football on this Washington defense. You look at their schedule in recent weeks, they have faced top-ranked defenses in the NFL. He does think he can take advantage of this Redskins D.
Not only take advantage of them, going against Miami's defense, which is a very potent defense, Oakland's defense. Last week in Baltimore, a top 5 defense.
Seattle.
Seattle and the Redskins are ranked at the bottom in total defense in the NFL. He was confident coming into this game.
23-yard gain as he got it to Remersma. Off of play action, Flutie out to the sideline and caught by Reed. At the 29-yard line, a gain of 11 and another first down. He was working on Champ Bailey, the rookie out of Georgia. The Washington defense. Dan Wilkinson, the defensive tackle last week, had an 88-yard interception return for his first career NFL touchdown. Linebackers, Barber is a playmaker. Smith has adapted to his new position, and Greg Jones on the outside. Green, Stevens, Shade, and Champ Bailey. On a handoff. Taking it up the middle, Jonathan Litton. And getting ahead to the 25-yard line, 4-yard gain. May have tripped up over his teammate Jay Remersma. Once again, Buffalo down in the first quarter, and this has been a common trend, Mark.
It has, and this team's been down early and often in every game the last 4 games. Talking to the players, they said as soon as the kickoff is kicked off, we want to play like we're behind. Well, they got behind again, first series of the Washington Redskins. They can't afford that, but they've been able to come back against their opponents.
And they have been under fire, so to speak, in the first quarter. Flutie on a little flip. It was deflected. Kennard Lang got his hand on it.
Now, that's one thing about Doug Flutie. If you can't get him to sack him and you're rushing the quarterback, get your hands in the air. Because of his height, he's 5'10". He's going against defensive linemen 6'5" and 6. If you get your hands up, if you get close to him, you're going to come up with a big play. Even a knockdown, that's like an incompleted pass. That's a big play by Kennard Lang. He knew he couldn't get the sack, so he throws those big arms up in the air, and Doug Flutie can't see down the field, and he knocks it down.
On 3rd and 6, Flutie admittedly had one of the worst games of his life last week. 3 interceptions. Could have been 6. Flutie back in the pocket on a 3rd and 6, stepping forward, looking to scramble. Avoids the pressure. Flutie on the move. Doug Flutie motoring ahead, and he is spilled down inside the 20. He was looking for the first down. He got 6. Will it be enough to move the chains? Tim Denton got him down low. Reminds you of what happened last week on a 4th and 15. Late stages of the game, Doug Flutie had a 17-yard run to keep a drive alive. That is an element that he brings here that most QBs cannot do.
It's a different dimension. Most rushers are usually rushing the quarterback. They force him out of the pocket. They can get a sack. With Doug Flutie, it doesn't matter where you force. You force him from the outside to the inside. He finds a way to make the play. First down for the Buffalo Bills. Doug Flutie's amazing at this. When he's in the pocket, he gets pressured. They come with a rush on the inside. He avoids the rush and steps up in the pocket. The rush from the outside. Then there's a rush on the inside. Makes another person miss. Whoops, there's another person miss. Goes to the outside. Doesn't see anyone open. Pulls the ball down. Takes off for the first down. Talking to Darryl Green and Champ Bailey, they told us this is the most frustrating thing. You've got your man covered down the field to play, and Doug Flutie scrambles, makes a big play, comes up with the first down.
This will be a 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. It's Linton in the backfield. Flutie has over 100 yards better numbers running the football than any other quarterback in the NFL. Running into the line, Jonathan Linton, and the Redskins defense was ready with Coleman and Barber combining on the stop.
This defense for the Washington Redskins, they are ranked last, but the last 2 weeks, they played much better. They've gotten it together. They haven't given up as many big plays. But when you look at this Redskin for the defense, they're last in the NFL, but here's the key. They've had such a big lead in the majority of their games. When it's late in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, they can afford to give up a lot of yards because it doesn't make a difference. They've already got the lead.
And Norv Turner told us statistically this defense will not be good this season, but he feels it will be a strength of the team by the end of this year. Collins sets up as a receiver, the tight end on the outside. Linton just moved in motion as a receiver. Flutie in the pocket. Under some heat, he got it to Andre Reed. He is sandwiched at the 7-yard line. And another first down for Buffalo. So the Bills are moving the football with ease after Washington went up and down the field with no problem whatsoever.
And Andre Reed on the outside makes his hit across the middle. All it is a slant across the middle. Goes across the middle. Doug Flutie knows with Andre Reed, he's going to get a perfect route every time. If Andre Reed has to go 5 yards, slant across the middle, at 12 he's going to throw the ball, Andre Reed will be there. That's exactly what happened.
Wade Phillips doesn't think he's got a great offense on his hands, but he knows they're efficient, and he knows they can be better than they have been in recent weeks. Handoff. Jonathan Linton trying to move forward as he comes up just shy of the 5-yard line. We are yet to see Antoine Smith in this game as Sam Shade made the tackle. We spoke with Antoine Smith yesterday, and it's fairly clear he is frustrated, and I think he knows his future probably isn't going to be in Buffalo.
And he's frustrated because he's the type of back that needs 20 to 25 carries a game. He hasn't gotten it the last few weeks. They've been behind early. They had to throw the football. When they go 2 backs, they're very predictable. Antoine Smith is usually in there. But if they go 1 back, it's Jonathan Linton. But now Jonathan Linton's in there with a 2-back formation.
Smith watching from the sideline with his helmet on, hoping to get an opportunity. Linton remains on the field on 2nd and goal. The throw incomplete, molds the intended receiver. And Darryl Green had the coverage one-on-one in the corner of the end zone.
That's going to be a great matchup today. Darryl Green, 17th season in the NFL against Eric Mold, a Pro Bowler. We're going to see Molds and Green going at it all day, and that's going to be one of the ones to watch because Darryl, at his age, 39 years old, we used to call him Pee-wee. He was drafted in my career with the Washington Redskins. He came in as a first-round pick. He's only 5'8", 170 pounds. We're saying, first-round pick, this guy couldn't cover me, but he's held on 17 years in the NFL. Phenomenal. He is a Hall of Famer.
Trying to get the crowd into it. 12th play of the drive for Buffalo. Washington defense hoping to hold. On 3rd and goal, Flutie back. Flutie on a pump fake. Trying to find an angle. Flutie way back in the pocket. Throwing against the grain. Connects with Jonathan Linton, but he is brought down. A lot of work by Doug Flutie, and they get no yardage out of it. Sean Barber making the tackle as Linton was hoping to make a move to the end zone. The Washington defense has done its job in the red zone.
And they pressure Doug Flutie. He steps to the side, but here's what makes the play. Downfield, everyone's covered. They let Linton link out, but the speed of their linebacking crew, they're not very big in Washington. Sean Barber makes the play on Jonathan Linton. Excellent tackle at the end of the play.
A 23-yard field goal attempt for Steve Christie. And Christie pushes it through, and Buffalo scores on its first possession. Not the 7 they were hoping for. They'll settle for 3. Washington with the lead.
Folks, why settle for some teeny-weeny chicken sandwich made by Burger Boys? Take a big old bite of your Colonel's new Triple Crunch. Not 1, not 2, but 3 crunchy white meat strips. Well, you almost need 3 hands to hold it. Try my new Triple Crunch sandwich. Right now, it's just $1.99. $1.99? I can do that. I'm the Colonel. My new Triple Crunch at KFC. It's just one of 5 new sandwiches.
Here's what happens inside high horsepower engines. They get hot. Hot enough to turn firemen into ice cream truck drivers. You don't play with heat like this. You get Quaker State High Performance, a synthetic blend for high horsepower engines. It's been tested. Actually, it's been barbecued. For pure maximum protection, nothing's better. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
Capture every day in brilliant color. Get the picture with Fujifilm.
Winter driving can be a bit unsettling. So right now at Sears, you'll find all Goodyear tires on sale. That's a relief. All Goodyear tires on sale. Sears, the good life at a great price, guaranteed.
Monday on Dave.
You know anything about President Clinton?
Well, I do know that he lied one time.
One time?
Plus, Woody Harrelson, Monday.
CBS Sports, the exclusive home of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
A 13-play, 62-yard drive for the Buffalo Bills, taking up just over 7 minutes off the clock. And Steve Christie with a 23-yard field goal. A low kick. And it's caught by the up man, James Jenkins. So once again, good field position for Washington to start with from the 38-yard line, their second possession. When we come back to Redskins Stadium after this.
So with Staples.com, you order the supplies you want, I approve them, and they're delivered the next day.
You mean I can order pens?
Yes.
Paper?
Yes.
How about an executive leather chair?
No.
Paper clips?
Yes.
Linda.
When you people are finished, I have a light bulb in my office that he's changing too. I love the way they pull together.
Want great prices on everything, even furniture? Staples.com.
Step up. Learn to see farther. Learn there are teachers who won't allow you to fail. Learn to dance, to draw. Learn that the real challenge doesn't come from the outside, but from within. And that there's more to you than you ever knew. Be all you can be.
Hey, who's gonna start the fire?
You know what? I hope we get snowed in.
Yeah, me too. That'd be great.
These are the days.
Yeah, definitely gonna try the snowshoe.
Fetzer days. Enjoy the wine.
Enterprise? You rented our car from Enterprise?
Yeah.
Why Enterprise?
Because they pick us up.
Free.
A free pickup? Wow. They ought to be number one.
They are number one.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Who will be named the Sportsman of the Century? Sports Illustrated's 20th Century Sports Awards, coming to CBS. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Staples, the office superstore, and by the United States Army. Be all you can be.
Back in Washington, 7-3 Redskins leading the Bills with 3:41 to play here in the first quarter. 2 long drives to start play, one from both teams. And a 1st and 10 for the Redskins. Handoff for Stephen Davis. He is running with such confidence. A 4-yard gain on first down. Ted Washington making the tackle. Coming up Tuesday on CBS, America's #1 action drama. A submarine is hijacked with missiles aimed at New York City. Now the countdown has begun. An all-new Jag. That's Tuesday on CBS. On a 2nd and 6, line of scrimmage is the 42. Motion man is Westbrook. Off of play action, Brad Johnson. He is now 4 of 4 throwing the football. This time it's Larry Centers getting involved. Depending upon where they spot the football, pickup of 2 yards. Coward and Gabe Northern combining on the stop. Norv Turner, 6th year as the head coach of the Redskins. He is still looking for his first playoff berth.
Not only that, and when we talk to him, some of his players that are really responding for him this year, Stephen Davis, Albert Connell, Michael Westbrook in their 3rd and 4th and 5th year. And he said the light really didn't come on. It's like a dimmer switch. Each year they've gotten better, better, better. Now everybody's seeing the potential that they had, and they're playing well.
All seems to be clicking for them offensively. And it's continued into this week's game as well. On a 3rd and 4, Johnson finding Michael Westbrook over the middle into Buffalo territory. So this drive remains alive after the 8-yard hookup.
Now, and the reason why this play has success, the 5 guys up front, pass protection. Brad Johnson's able to stand tall in the pocket, look off his first receiver, go to a second receiver, feel comfortable enough to hit it down the middle of the field. The guys up front aren't even getting close. He looks left, looks right, looks back left, completes the pass to Michael Westbrook. That's confidence in the offensive line.
Time trickling away here in the first, down to 1:49 to play. Handoff to Stephen Davis. Big hole for Davis. Shy of the 35-yard line, 11-yard scamper straight ahead. And another Washington first down. Corey Raymer, the center, laying out a picture-perfect block.
Not only Corey Raymer, Larry Centers, the fullback, has an excellent block, leading the tailback, Stephen Davis. When no one touches you and you run over your own guy for some leverage and go down the field to play, the opposition doesn't touch you 10 yards downfield. It's the guys up front, not only the offensive line, tight ends, full. Everyone contributes in the offensive blocking scheme.
5 carries, 27 yards for Davis. Off of play action, Johnson will throw it underneath the coverage to Davis, and he's forced out of bounds. But again, Brad Johnson making something happen. You know, people around the NFL early in this season looked at Stephen Davis and said, well, who is this guy? You talk to some of the Redskins, though, and they'll say, hey, we always knew he could do it. He just needed an opportunity. Even Norv Turner told us he probably would have done it last year if given the chance. It's just that Terry Allen was still on the roster.
And many people forget about Stephen Davis. In college, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate. That's how good of an athlete he is. In this season, in the preseason, he had a duel, Skip Hicks, for the starting position. Norv Turner challenged him and said it's going to be a fight. He didn't cry about it, didn't whine about it. He said, I'll accept the challenge. He fought and he won the starting job.
On second down, flag on the play, and Davis once again just picking up chunks of yardage every time he touches the football. That's a 12-yard gain, but it looks like this one is coming back. Ron Winter making the call, and Washington will deal with its first penalty of the afternoon.
Holding. Number 77 of the offense, a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That's Trey Johnson, and the Washington coaching staff, including Russ Grimm, just thrilled that he's been able to stay healthy this year.
Not only stay healthy, he committed himself in the offseason. He was about 370 pounds, and he dropped about 50 pounds. And Russ Grimm, the offensive line coach, here's my old guy, Russ Grimm. He's an ex-Hog. Russ is still a Hog. We'll always be Hogs at heart.
Well, he's still a real Hog.
He's a real Hog. But Russ said he committed himself, lost the weight, and now that's why he's staying healthy, because he's not overweight.
On the flip for Larry Centers, he is tackled down at the 45-yard line. So this drive stalling a bit following the penalty. Phil Hansen making the tackle. Yeah, it's one thing. You're still a Hog. You'll always be a Hog. But look at that. That's a Hog.
You know the worst part about it? When you have kids, you don't want your kids running around saying, my dad's a Hog. That's not a good thing.
So your daughters are not saying that, you're saying. End of the first quarter. Redskins 7, Bills 3 will return to Redskins Stadium right after this message. The NFL on CBS.
Okay, everybody, let's square dance. Oh, bow to the partner corner, I say. Circle to the left with a merit trade. Break right out and you go online. Load the boat, you're doing fine. Research is free, make that trade. Swing that girl, promenade. Circle up 8 with a hoop and a holler. Each trade costs you just $8. Hey, bow to the partner corner, I say. You trade it online with a merit trade. Yoo-hoo! Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
My dad taught me what it means to be a true fan. Right, Dad? Yeah! I'm more the quiet type. Oh, yeah! Well, the cold doesn't bother me so much. It's the chili dogs. Oh, that's why I bring out the Rolaids.
New smoother tasting Rolaids starts to neutralize acid in less than 10 seconds, getting you back on your game fast.
It's just like Grandpa always says. You got to be your best out here.
Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief.
Mom doesn't make it out to the games. I don't know why.
Want to intimidate? Put on your game face. But when you take it off, put on your Remington face with the Remington Microscreen 3 and the power of 3 flexing microscreens to get close, fast.
Just try and get closer.
Shaves incredibly close or your money back.
Select road.
Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires, take control.
When Judge Gray's brother is shot, can she stay objective on her next case?
Just because I'm in there wanting to rip the guy's head off doesn't mean I can't be impartial.
Judging Amy, CBS Tuesday.
Start of the second quarter. Washington 7, Buffalo 3. Ian Eagle along with former Redskin Mark May. Washington has it on a 3rd and 17 from the Buffalo 45-yard line. Brian Mitchell in the backfield, and Johnson will throw it. It is Mitchell releasing from the backfield and coming up well short of a first down. Antoine Winfield making the stop at the 37-yard line. A gain of 8. You know, it seems like the Washington Redskin offensive linemen really take pride in that moniker, the Hogs. That has stood the test of time, Mark, and that's got to make you feel good.
It does. After the years of playing with the Redskins, some of the best years of my life, and we did some great things here. Went to a couple of Super Bowls, won a couple, and the offensive line here, they look back at the tradition. Talking to John Jansen, he said, hey, we're not Hogs yet. When the old Hogs consider us Hogs or Hogs too, that's when it really means something, and that means a lot to us.
He said that. He said that if the media calls us Hogs, yeah, it's nice of them to say it, but we don't believe it until the former Redskins step forward and say, yes, you are carrying out the tradition.
I don't think it's going to happen anytime. I'm greedy.
They're going to go for a field goal, a 55-yard attempt. Brett Conway has a big leg from 55 yards away. Conway leans into it. No good. Off to the left. Redskins come up empty on their second possession of the day. Early second quarter, Washington in front.
Good financial decisions require expertise. Life needs flexibility. Success demands leadership. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
We started this business with a green thumb, a vivid imagination,
and a lot of hard work.
But before long, I could see we needed help, financial help.
So I called American Express Small Business Services.
They helped us with equipment financing so we could keep on growing.
And with the corporate card, we finally got a handle on expenses.
1-800-SUCCESS was the best call we ever made.
With American Express, we've learned what it's like to have a partner you can count on.
And a brother.
Now I want you to listen to me, and listen good, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to run the ball, we're going to pass the ball, we're going right down this field, and we're going to score.
Is this fun or what?
He's all of 13 years old and is on trial for murder. He's also on 60 Minutes. And with 1/4 of the doctors in the U.S. now trained in foreign countries, it's likely before the patient is asked, where does it hurt, the doctor is asked, where are you from? 60 Minutes tonight.
The Buffalo Bills back along the Beltway for the second consecutive week. Last-minute win over Baltimore last week. Great field position here as they give it to Antoine Smith, getting his first action of the afternoon, and he crosses into Washington territory for a 7-yard gain. Next Saturday, it's split national excitement on Home Depot College football. Some of you will see the resurgent Fighting Irish of Notre Dame battle the Pittsburgh Panthers, while others will see an SEC showdown, Mississippi State and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Check your local listings for the game in your area right here on CBS. 2nd and 3 from the 48-yard line of the Redskins. Gash in motion, Smith by himself in the backfield. Flutie, straight back. Quick throw, and it's low, incomplete. He was looking for Riemersma, who is finally feeling close to 100%. Riemersma has been dealing with an injured groin. It'll be 3rd and 3.
And Doug Flutie tries to force the ball into Jay Riemersma. two covers right there, two coverage people for the Washington Redskins over the top and to the side. Greg Jones over the top, and then the outside was Matt Stevens, and Flutie at the end of the play gets nailed by Kennard Lang. If they want to make Doug Flutie conscious of the rush, you have to hit him every play like any quarterback. Let them know that you're going to rush him, get your hands in his face, and you have to put a few hits on him.
4 receivers for Flutie to work with, operating out of the gun. On third down, a pump fake. Flutie looking to run it. He's got the marker in front of him. First down and a little bit more. Doug Flutie. He will take advantage of a defense that goes back on their heels, and that's what Washington did. A 13-yard scramble for Flutie and a new set of downs.
And the reason why this play is successful, first they get good protection up front. Doug Flutie reads that, gets a little pressure in the middle, he rolls out. All the coverage is so far downfield, he has to take off running. Gets a block from John Fina down the field to play. But Doug Flutie's so elusive and so smart. Once he sees the secondary drop back 15 or 20 yards, he's going to pull the ball down and run and make things happen.
First and 10 from the 36-yard line. Linton in the backfield. He'll get the call. Jonathan Linton trying to run in between the tackles, and he picked up 2. Matt Stevens making the stop. Buffalo Bills offensively, a lot of balance early in the season. For the last 3 games, it's been Flutie, Flutie, Flutie.
And the reason for that is, 1, they get behind in games. They have to throw the football. 2, Eric Moulds is not in the lineup the last 3 games, and that really hurt this offense. But I talked to offensive coordinator Joe Pendry. He says the first thing we have to do, doesn't matter who's out there, we've got to eliminate the little mistakes and play our type of football.
Today they've run the football 9 times, 7 throws for Flutie. Early stages, second quarter. On a give for Linton. He's got some room. Jonathan Linton crossing the 25-yard line, and a first down for Buffalo. 10-yard gain for Linton. He got a good block from Robert Hicks, and this offensive line has looked a bit more spirited than what we've seen in recent weeks from Buffalo.
And it's a big offensive line. Look at the right side. Good combination blocks, but big old Robert Hicks out there at 350 pounds. He's going to crunch a linebacker. There's no way that he can even stand tall, Derek Smith. But Jonathan Linton was surprised the hole was so big. He got out there, saw the hole, and said, I've got to make the cut downfield. It's big yardage.
This is Antoine Smith cutting it back inside, and Smith puts the helmet down and charges ahead. He gets across the 20 for a 5-yard gain. Sean Barber making the tackle, and that's something about this offensive line. There really has not been the push, the consistent push for the running game. I'll tell you what, Flutie's also been under some heavy pressure in recent weeks, something that we didn't see last season.
Not at all, and I think getting Ruben Brown back helps this offensive line. He's a Pro Bowler. But going against the Redskins, if you can get by the first line of defense, the down linemen, the linebackers are small. They average 230 pounds, and they're not going to hold up against 350-pound offensive linemen.
Line of scrimmage is the 19. This will be a pitch for Linton. Linton waiting for the hole to develop, and he did a good job as he accelerated ahead to the 16-yard line. Brought down after a pickup of 3. Dusty Ziegler, that right guard on the line, helping out to create that hole.
And keep an eye on Jonathan Linton. It looks like he wants to throw this football, but the contain comes upfield in his face. Right here, looks like he wants to throw it. Nope, there's nothing to the outside. Makes an outstanding cut back inside. The offensive linemen are in a pass mode on the line of scrimmage. They're not making blocks downfield. That was a pass.
3rd and 3. Peerless Price is in as a 3rd receiver. Linton in the backfield. Bills are in the red zone once again. Here's Flutie. Backtrack in the pocket and connects with Jay Remersma. That's a first down for Buffalo. Derek Smith making the tackle just short of the 10. 6 yards through the air. Flutie got exactly what he needed, an underneath throw.
And Jay Remersma uses his body. That's why this is a reception against the linebackers. He knows how to use his body, which angle where Doug Flutie's going to throw the ball. Turns back, gets the reception. The thing about Jay Remersma, he knows how to come across the defense and get in front of linebackers. That's why he's such a great receiver for the Bills at the tight end position.
On a 1st and 10 from the 11, Flutie. And again for Jonathan Linton trying to barrel forward. He does. Linton with a good effort to pick up about 3 on first down. And they're using clock, and they're keeping the Washington offense off the field.
And that's what Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator, told me this week. If we can run the ball successfully, that's going to help our defense. It'll keep that Redskin offense on the sidelines. But here's the key. Keep an eye on Doug Flutie. That's the 4th time in this game where he handed the ball off to the right or left, and he'd gone the opposite way, carried out the fake like he had the ball on a bootleg. He will run the bootleg in this game. As long as the defense doesn't respect his running ability, he'll run it this game.
Bills can still get a first down. This is a 2nd and 7. Line of scrimmage is the 8. Flutie throws. Laser to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Bobby Collins. Buffalo takes the lead. First NFL touchdown for the rookie Collins out of Northern Alabama.
And Bobby Collins, his 2nd reception, it's a touchdown. Spread everybody out, put him to the outside, let him go one-on-one with the safety. All it is a simple slant from the outside. Goes down the field of play, makes his move. Doug Flutie throws it to him. The reason why it's a touchdown reception, good blocking, great route running on the outside.
Steve Christie, he hooked that one and nearly hooked it outside of the upright, but it's good. And Buffalo with a 10-7 lead in the 2nd quarter.
Imagine living life on a grander scale. Imagine tasting water when it's brand new, or being one with nature without going it alone. Introducing Ford Excursion. Discover the ultimate in capability. From Ford Outfitters, offering you the most far-reaching sport utilities on Earth. Ford Outfitters, no boundaries.
In the heart of India, amid an age-old culture, one company has pioneered a new way of doing business. Using cutting-edge processes and communications, Infosys designs and builds software solutions for the world. Working 24 hours a day, delivering overnight to clients around the globe, Infosys is growing an average of 60% a year. Where do you learn about aggressive, innovative companies? Exactly. NASDAQ, the stock market for a digital world.
By land, by sea, by air, he's always in his element.
Tell him James Bond is here.
The world is not enough. Rated PG-13. Starts November 19th.
One of the world's best skiers against Goodyear's ultimate winter tire, the Ultra Grip Ice Radial. Made with Ice Lock and innovative silica compound, you get improved traction on snow and ice. Goodyear Ultra Grip Ice Radials.
An accused man's religion forbids his wife from appearing in court.
Your freedom depends on your wife's testimony.
No. Family Law, CBS Monday.
4th-round draft pick Bobby Collins getting his first career touchdown on a pass from Doug Flutie, and the Buffalo Bills have taken their first lead of the afternoon. And you can make the point, certainly, Mark, that the field position played a huge role there after Brett Conway tried a 55-yard field goal. He missed it, and the Bills took over in good position.
We have to question that call by Norv Turner. I know the kicker has a strong leg, but you don't turn the ball over to a Doug Flutie with outstanding field position. Punt the ball, knock it out at the 10, make him go the length of the field. Don't give him great field position.
Bills started at their own 45-yard line, had to go just 55 yards for the score. The Buffalo Bills have won 9 straight regular season games against teams from the NFC East. One of those crazy stats. On a bounce for Brian Mitchell. Mitchell still looking to break one this season. He will not do it here, but he does give Washington a good place to start from after the 29-yard return. Line of scrimmage will be the 39. 10-7, Bills.
The World Wide Web. 40 million sites. 800 million pages. 60 billion words. And one search engine that prioritizes, categorizes, and organizes it into neat little folders. Northern Light, just what you've been searching for.
Terrell! There's a new chunky soup!
Ma?
Chunky beef with white and wild rice. It's loaded with 2 kinds of rice and big chunks of lean beef and veggies to fill you up right.
Looks good.
Mark, I got you chunky sirloin burger.
Mom, you're under the seat.
The overheads were full.
Campbell's Chunky Beef Soups.
They're loaded with beef.
A pile of 100-year-old bricks might look like rubble to some. But I knew what they'd been through. Knew that you could hardly hurt them. And that bricks with a history like that was strong enough to stand again.
Ford F-Series Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Campbell's Chunky, soup that eats like a meal. And by NorthernLight.com, just what you've been searching for.
Buffalo up by a field goal here on the second quarter from Washington. 8:34 to play until halftime, and the Bills with the 10-7 lead. Redskins have it 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line, led by Brad Johnson. What a story he has been in the NFL this season. Came over from Minnesota, originally a 9th-round draft pick back in 1992 out of Florida State. And a handoff for Stephen Davis. He does cross the line of scrimmage, but just picked up a couple after Pat Williams made the tackle. Brad Johnson grew up in Black Mountain, North Carolina, and he told us that he was a huge Redskins fan as a kid, so big that he just sold his mom's house, bought her a new one, and the last thing remaining on the wall in his old house was a light switch cover, Washington Redskins insignia, in his bedroom. His mom took it off, sent it to him in the mail. He's now got it in his apartment here.
And it's amazing. And you talk to Brad Johnson, he goes, it's an honor to be the quarterback for the Washington Redskins. It was almost his lifetime dream since growing up as a little kid.
Ball was deflected as a flag comes down. Albert Connell and Kurt Schultz involved in the collision. It was off of a deflection. Bills claiming that they touched it. At that point, it's open game.
It's a free ball, it's open game, and you can hit anybody down the field to play.
Ron Winter will sort it out, and it looks like that's the way it's going to go.
There is no infraction on the play. The ball was tipped before the contact. The pass is incomplete. 3rd down.
And that's a good call by the officiating crew. The fans here don't like it, but right here the ball's going to be tipped in the middle of your screen. Right there, Joe Cummings, the middle linebacker, tips the ball.
That is the first incomplete pass from Brad Johnson today. He is 8 of 9, 67 yards. And now a 3rd and 9 from the 40. Irving Fryer in as a 3rd receiver. Play action. Johnson under some pressure. Throw brought in by Connell. Remaining on his feet. Finally tackled down at the 25-yard line. Oh, is this Washington offense confident? 35 yards through the air. Off of play action.
And it's a counter play pass, and Bruce Smith was leveled on the play. But Ken Irvin gets beat down the field. It's a curl in the middle of the field. He's too far back behind Albert Connell. But on the play, what makes it go is the fake in the middle of the field. The Bills are expecting run, cross action. It's a counter look, but Bruce Smith was just devastated on the play by big Trey Johnson. Gave him a pancake block, knocked him on the back of his neck.
Smith goes to the sideline. He'll watch right now as we approach the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. Redskins are on the move on a 1st and 10. Little flip caught by Larry Setters. It's incomplete. He trapped it. It'll be 2nd and 10. Right now, let's get an NFL Today report. We head to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, Ian, the hottest quarterback so far today, Mark Brunell. He has thrown 2 touchdowns for the Jags. This one to Damon Jones. The big sofa pulls it in for a score. Jacksonville's threatening again inside the 10 as we go back to Washington.
Jim, now that they're healthy, it's a reminder of just how good that offense is in Jacksonville with Fred Taylor back.
And very quietly, everyone is starting to look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and nothing major said about it. This is one of the best teams in the NFL.
Pat Williams just made a tremendous play on Stephen Davis, and he threw him for a loss.
That's penetration in the backfield. In the middle of the screen, Pat Williams goes against Corey Raymer, beats Corey Raymer with a nice hand slap move. Stephen Davis has nowhere to go. That's not fair for a running back.
Bruce Smith does return to the field now, playing on 3rd down, a passing situation. Told us felt something with his hamstring for the first time over the last 2 or 3 days.
Had a little hamstring twinge, and I don't know if Bruce was setting us up to tell the Washington offense this so they'd lay off the double teams, but he's having a pretty solid year.
On 3rd and 15, that pass is caught by Connell, but it will be well short of a 1st down. Ken Irvin able to get in on the play and trying to knock it free. Redskins able to recover it after a 7-yard gain.
And Bruce Smith still has it. He gets double teamed right there. He gets chipped on. Then here comes a tight end. Then you're going to see somebody else get on him. He's never left alone. There's always two people. Still gets the respect in the NFL. Doesn't have a lot of sacks this year, but teams slide to him. They'll chip on him, as you've just seen. One player chips on him with a shoulder block, goes down the field. Somebody else picks him up. He's never left free one-on-one, very rarely, even in his 15th season in the NFL.
Brett Conway getting another attempt. He missed from 55 yards away earlier. This one will be from 41 yards away. Kick is on the way. And good. We're tied at 10-10. So the Redskins squeeze something out of that drive. Norv Turner was hoping for more. 5:24 to play. First half.
So, Butterfield, what do you think about the new CEO?
Well, sir, he's a good man. The job he did over at Incorporated was really good. With emerging, yeah, remember? And that spin-off thing.
When you're not informed, it shows. Hoover's Online. Know thy stuff.
Four airbags, a steel safety cage, and a whiplash protection seating system. All the safety you'd expect in a Volvo. At a price you may not. Introducing the Volvo S40.
Great walk, huh, Jake? Your next call.
Next Sunday, 7 million New Yorkers will be devastated by an earthquake. This is the story of how 10 of them will fight to survive.
Gotta get me out of here, Daddy.
Any second now, any second.
We've got to hold the fort and give people hope.
God has a reason for everything he does. Everything I know could be gone.
Please don't be dead.
I know you're scared, but you have to trust me.
Aftershock, CBS next Sunday.
You can turn hopes and dreams into reality when you give through the United Way.
The NFL, the United Way, and you. The power of teamwork.
You are watching CBS Sports, the exclusive home of the Daytona 500.
Back at Redskins Stadium, tied at 10. 5:24 remaining in the second quarter. Conway to kick it off. Kevin Williams allows it to bounce and allows it to go out of bounds. So once again, Buffalo will have good field position to start here. And this Buffalo offense, which had been floundering of late, is gaining some confidence along the way.
Kickoff out of bounds. By rule, the ball is placed 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff. First down.
Bills will try to regain the lead when we come back. 10-10, Washington and Buffalo.
Four airbags, a steel safety cage, and a whiplash protection seating system. All the safety you'd expect in a Volvo. At a price you may not. Introducing the Volvo S40.
Great walk, huh, Jake? Your next call.
Thank you. 42 Pleasant Street really knows how to rock.
Woo! Yeah, all right, you rock! Rock on! Woo! Yeah, all right, you rock!
Come on, guys, it's late. Your friends have to go home now, okay?
You don't need to go to extremes to get home entertainment. Just go to hi-fi.com for the best in home theater, audio, and video equipment. Go to hi-fi.com today and get a free DVD player with the purchase of any Dolby surround system.
CBS Friday. The government built him.
Do I have to?
And cut him off from his family. But when his child is in danger,
Your daughter's in a very deep coma.
nothing will stop him from getting to her.
Going up.
You go marching in there and I'll have a dozen sharpshooters take you down.
And all new Now and Again. Then, when Dawn's old flame returns,
We made a good couple, Nash.
will Yasmin be able to keep her cool?
Water under the bridge.
And all new Nash after Now and Again, CBS Friday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Gateway. Call Gateway and connect with us. And by Volvo. Volvo for life.
Buffalo with its first regular season visit to the Washington, D.C. area since 1990. Currently, the Bills and Redskins are tied at 10. Bills have it, 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line after the kickoff trickled out of bounds. Remersma, the motion man. Jonathan Lipp. He tried to get to the outside. The Redskins defense was ready. And the first man to get there, Derek Smith. A loss of 2. Coming up tonight on to the 2-yard loss from Linton. Peerless Price is in as a third receiver for the Bills. Flutie. He sends Reed in motion. Long count for Flutie, stepping up in the pocket, throwing. Remersma holds it in and remains on his feet. The tight end, Jay Remersma, is dragged down at the 28-yard line. 34 yards through the air.
And Doug Flutie, every time he sees Jay Remersma down the middle of the field against the linebacker, goes straight down the hash marks. Then he makes his move. He curls in the middle. No one's around him. Now it's against defensive backs. They can't tackle him. 1, 2 guys bounces off Jay Remersma. The reason why he's so big in the middle of the field, because of his speed. Not just so big, but the ability to get down the middle of the field as a big man.
A 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. Smith by himself in the backfield as Gash moves in motion. Off a play fake. Flutie. Pump fake. And he'll throw it out of bounds. And it brings up a point, Mark. This Washington offense has been so good this season that we really haven't seen the Washington defense dealing with pressure situations where they've been in close games in the first half. They do have 2 losses, both to the Dallas Cowboys.
And this is going to be a major test for the Redskins. We're going to find out how good this team is when they have to fight a team that's not going to give up. They're going to be in it every step of the way. And boy, Doug Flutie just goes down like a rag down. Those 2 defensive tackles in the middle just threw him down. It wasn't even close. But we're going to find out about this defense. Can they go for 4 quarters? Can they play a competitive game, a tight game, and win? We'll find out how good this Redskin team is.
On a 2nd and 10 from the 28. Flutie. He's got plenty of time on a rollout. Flutie trying to find some extra room, and he is forced out. Took a very tough angle. Matt Stevens with the push. Kennard Lang was among those Redskins getting into the backfield and forcing Doug Flutie to scramble.
And Kennard Lang took an extra few breaths on the ground. If he thinks he's tired now, it's only the 2nd quarter. Doug Flutie's going to do this for 4 complete quarters, but he tries to make something happen. There's no reason for him to scramble out of the pocket. He wasn't pressured, but Doug Flutie always looks for the big play. He wants to throw it first when he drops back. If it's not there, then make something happen. But it's going to be a long day for Kennard if he's a little winded now.
He will get half a sack on that play because they lost 2. Matt Stevens will get the other half. Now it's a 3rd and 12 from the 30. This big crowd comes to their feet. Flutie retreating in the pocket on a dump off from Linton. Linton trying to create after the catch. And he is gang tackled at the 22-yard line. Sean Barber, first man there. 8-yard pickup, but they needed 12. 4th down.
Buffalo's going to go for this, They're not sending their field goal kicker in. They're going to go for it on 4th down. This is a chance. Wade Phillips likes to go for it on 4th down. They've been very good in 4th down situations this year. 7 out of 10 attempts, they've converted on 4th down.
That is the highest percentage in the NFL with at least 10 attempts on 4th down. A critical play in the 2nd quarter. It would have been a 40-yard field goal attempt. Instead, they'll go for it on 4th and 4. Flutie. Under some heat. Flutie flushed out of the pocket. He's looking to run it on a stutter step move. Doug Flutie's got the 1st down across the 15-yard line. A little shake and bake and a new set of downs for the Bills to work with.
He is Houdini. This is unbelievable. They thought they had Doug Flutie, but he's not going to slide down. He's not that type of quarterback. Drops in the pocket, looks downfield, nothing's happening, no one's open. So now I will make something happen. Gets a good turnaround block by his right tackle, Robert Hicks. No one downfield, but right here, the move against Dana Stubblefield and another move to get the 1st down. It's amazing.
We have hit the 2-minute warning here in the 2nd quarter, and Flutie has already done something to amaze this crowd. 10-10.
They don't know me. I get these catalogs for kids' clothes, and I don't have kids.
I get discounts for car repair. I take the subway.
I get offers for aluminum siding. I live in an apartment.
Hey, you behind the glass.
You're the one with the computers and databases. You don't know me. You don't know them.
Right. You ought to know who we are.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
Yeah, I think they got sandwiches in there.
2 large double cheese.
It's about time. I'm starving.
Whoa, that can't be cable.
It's DirecTV. You get all your favorite cable channels.
Kung Pao.
And it's the only service that gives you access to every pro and college sports subscription.
Donuts.
Plus now, you get 2 free months of 32 premium movie channels, including 7 HBO, 4 Stars, and 5 Showtime channels with no long-term commitments. DirecTV. What are you looking at? Okay, who ate the remote?
You with the long face. Have a seat. Come in. I'm the 1-800-COLLECT advice guy. And you look like you could use some.
Yeah, I borrowed my dad's car. Me and my buddies drove up here for a little fun.
Go on.
Yeah, well, I didn't exactly ask if I could borrow it.
Give them a call. Use 1-800-COLLECT and save them a buck or two. That way they'll forget about all the dumb stuff you've done.
Hey, should I tell them about the tattoo?
Depends where it is. Use 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
A hijacked submarine. Missiles aimed at New York.
The target is the Statue of Liberty.
The countdown has begun.
You gotta give me more time.
All new Jag, CBS Tuesday.
All tied up. 2-minute mark, second quarter. Coming up, the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. Plus, Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms will have a report on the Pittsburgh-San Francisco matchup. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. You know, Doug Flutie, as disgruntled as we have ever seen him this week, we met with him yesterday. He told us Sundays are a lot of fun, but he's not having fun during the week. He said that the local media, their perception of the team is quite different than the national perspective.
And he says he's happy to talk to the national media because they say, you guys are 5-3. You're exactly where you were last year. You can end up 10-6 if you do the same thing in the second half. But in Buffalo, they want more than just 5-3. They want to win, and they want to win the Buffalo way.
Antoine Smith remaining on his feet as he was able to carry his momentum to the 10-yard line. Picked up 6 on first down. Sam Shade made the tackle. Who is the most efficient running back for the Buffalo Bills? Well, I think it's their quarterback. Right. 3 carries, 27 yards.
You know, it's amazing. Coming into the game, he had over 300 yards rushing, averaging over 6 yards a carry, 6.3. That's outstanding. Most quarterbacks, it's negative or 1 or 2 yards because of their sacks, but not Doug Flutie.
On 2nd and 4, Gash in motion will set up as the fullback. Handoff straight ahead, and it's Antoine Smith again. So they're using Smith in a little bit of a different role than what we've seen. He's not automatically out there on the field on first down. As Sean Barber makes the tackle, they're mixing and matching with Jonathan Linton and Antoine Smith, and it gives Buffalo a first down, 1st and goal in the 5.
Not only that 1-2 punch on in the 4th quarter, both of these backs will be fresh.
Good point.
And that's going to be a telling tale against this Redskin defense. When they run the ball in the 4th quarter, both backs will be ready to go the distance.
Buffalo trying to use up as much clock as possible because they know this Washington offense is explosive and can move down the field in a hurry. On a 1st and goal from the 5, long count for Flutie. Handoff, Antoine Smith trying to move upright and stay on his feet as he nudged his way ahead for about 2. They take a timeout with 31 seconds left, first half. 10-10, Bills and Redskins.
You can turn hopes and dreams into reality when you give through the United Way. At this learning center, those with developing disabilities are getting the vital help they need. Together, we're solving problems, getting results you can see. The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
Buffalo with a chance to head to the locker room with the lead. 10-10, 31 seconds to play here in the first half, and a 2nd and goal from the 3 for the Bills. This time it's Jonathan Linton in the backfield. He caught that game-winning touchdown last week. Flutie on a give for Linton. kept the feet moving and nearly got to the end zone. Comes up just shy. Buffalo had just used a timeout. As time continues to tick away, and they will use another. 21 seconds left. One timeout remaining for Buffalo.
Nice job of blocking by the left side of the line. They've got their jumbo offense in. Jonathan Litton. Sam Gash gets an outstanding block in front of him and stays with the block, but the tackle's made by Derek Smith right before the goal line. But Jonathan Litton, smash mouth football. Joe Pendry, that's what he wants to do with his offense, knock the ball in.
Don't forget, coming up, the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry will get you caught up on the scores and highlights. Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms have a preview of the Pittsburgh-San Francisco game. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. Doug Flutie, a magician? Yes. A winner? Yes.
He's done it all for this team, and when they needed it the last couple of weeks, particularly last week, they needed a big play to win the game. Doug Flutie came up with that play. We talked to him yesterday. He said, we're going to score as many points as it takes. It doesn't matter if we score 30 points, great. If we score 35 points, great. At the end of the game, we want to look up at the scoreboard and just outscore this Washington Redskins team.
On a 3rd and goal from the 1. Buffalo looking for the lead. Handoff, Antoine Smith. He's in. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Wade Phillips, a little smile for 1 second, but just basic football. Joe Pendry's mentality, pound the football. When you get them on their heels, close to the goal line, knock it in. A simple dive play up the middle. All-pro Reuben Brown, center Jerry Ostrowski get excellent blocks, but Sam Gash goes to the right. They go for the fake with Sam Gash. Antoine Smith makes an outstanding cut to the backside, where John Fina had a terrific cutoff and scores the touchdown.
Extra point is good from Steve Christie. And Antoine Smith, frustrated all week long about his role with this team. He said he doesn't want to make it a distraction. If it doesn't work here in Buffalo, he'll just move on and go somewhere else. Smith has played a role, though, in this first half today, and he gets his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Coming up next weekend, top tour stars including David Duval, Fred Couples, Ben Crenshaw, and John Daly join forces with host Greg Norman at the Franklin Templeton Shark Shootout. That's next weekend right here on CBS. Well, it was a good test for the Buffalo defense today and for the Washington defense as well, because let's face it, you look at their opponents, you look at their schedule, they should be 5-2.
They should, and the only team that's defeated this team are the Dallas Cowboys, but the teams that they've played, their combined record 13-.
They control the clock. 17:25 first half time of possession. Now, sometimes you can look at that number and say, hey, it doesn't mean much, especially if one team is scoring quickly. It does mean something here because Buffalo has had long drives, and they have kept this very talented Washington offense on the sideline watching.
And they're controlling the line of scrimmage, and that's key. The big guys up front for the Bills are dominating the Redskin defense, and some of the Redskin defenders looked tired in the first half, chasing around Doug Flutie and getting knocked around by their offensive line. And here's the situation. It's going to catch them in the second half.
Good field position. That's been a key for Buffalo as well. And one stat you rarely hear in the NFL, no punts in the first half. Washington kicks it off. Conway able to kick it into the end zone. And the Bills have it at their own 20. Yeah, Doug Flutie, the one thing that really stuck out in our conversation with him, he does not feel that the local media and the fans respect this team. And he told us on a national level, everybody seems pretty impressed with what they've done. No, they haven't played well, but they've squeezed out 5 wins. Locally, they're saying, hey, what's wrong with the Bills, especially what's wrong with Doug Flutie?
Well, they're used to a high-scoring offense in Buffalo. Before they had the no-huddle with Jim Kelly, Doug Flutie did an outstanding job last year. He averaged 26 points a game when he came in as the starter, and they just haven't been able to score points, but they're still winning games, and that's what counts.
Jonathan Litton opens up in the backfield as we start play on the second half. First play from scrimmage on a handoff for Litton. And again, big yardage on first down as Litton took it straight ahead. He got a block from Reuben Brown and a 7-yard pickup.
And I can tell you right now, it's going to be no mystery with this offense of Buffalo. They are going to knock you down on the line of scrimmage and push you off, and they're going to run the football. Good job up front, but it's the cut by Jonathan Litton behind the offensive line. They stayed on their blocks, got to push. They're going to get a heavy dose of the run, this Redskin defense, in the second half.
On a 2nd and 2 now. Linton remains in the game. Riemersma in motion. Crowding the line, Washington, they're ready for the run. It doesn't matter. Linton gets the first down. So Jonathan Linton able to stretch his body across for a 4-yard gain. Sam Shade made the stop for Washington.
And I talked about it in the first half, the wear and tear, when you can pound on an opponent. As an ex-offensive lineman, the old Hogs, we used to love this type of offense. If you beat them up in the first half, we're going to play keep away in the second half. We're going to beat up the defense. And they're starting off first 2 plays running the ball.
You know, Darrell Green told me something that shocked me. He said you were the best looking Hog on that offensive line. How about that?
That's embarrassing. That means the other guys, they were awful bad.
I'd like to see some photos. Off of play action, Flutie unloads to the sideline, out of bounds. He was forced to throw it away. Andre Reed was in the vicinity, but Greg Jones got the pressure in on Flutie, and it sets up 2nd and 10.
Doug Flutie just didn't have a chance to complete this ball. No one picked up Greg Jones on the blitz. Doug Flutie just virtually threw the ball away. But that's what they have to do. They have to blitz Doug Flutie, get contained on the outside, put pressure on the inside by blitzing, because Doug Flutie will not sit in the pocket. If he feels pressure, he'll pull it down and run with it, and that's when he's most dangerous.
Flutie's numbers looking a lot better today than they have in the 3 previous weeks. Buffalo playing its 3rd consecutive road game. Here's Flutie. Backpedaling in the pocket, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Dan Wilkinson got his hand on it. And we see a number of those week in and week out with Flutie right now. That's the 2nd deflection today for this Washington defense.
It's no great mystery, the word in the NFL with Doug Flutie. If you can't get him and can't sack him, if you have a chance to throw your arms in the air, if he sits in the pocket, you'll knock it down. Every defensive lineman studies film. They know this. Get a push in the middle, get your hands up, knock the ball down. That's what Dan Wilkinson does.
Now a 3rd and 10. Wilkinson really picking up where he left off second half of last season. Struggled in the first half, picked up his play. There's been a carryover now in 1999. Dime package for Washington. Flutie, good protection. Floats it to the outside. Coming back for the football is Moulds, but he is short of the first down. That's 9 yards through the air. They needed 10. Darrell Green of the coverage. And Eric Moulds finally getting involved, his first catch since coming back from the hamstring injury.
Darrell Green looks like he's limping a little bit, coming off the field gingerly, but that's going to be a great matchup on the outside to watch. Eric Moulds against Darrell Green.
Green, the 7-time Pro Bowler, and Brian Mitchell needs just 4 yards to pass into 2nd place all-time behind Dave Meggett for career punt yard return. High punt by Moore, but short. Bounced down at the 35, and the Bills jumped on it. So good field position for Washington. They'll have their first possession following the 24-yard punt.
I am an American soldier. I am a member of the United States Army.
You are my brother. You are my sister.
You are brave.
And full of courage.
You're my son. You are my daughter.
You're a peacekeeper. I am proud of my country and its flag.
You stand tall. You make me proud.
You keep your promises.
You keep me safe. You're my hero.
And you keep freedom alive.
For I am an American soldier.
The all-in-one, internet-ready Gateway Astro PC is so simple to set up, you'll have it up and running in less than 1 donut. Just $799 with an Intel Celeron processor. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
You know, I can tell just by looking whether a vehicle's been driven hard or not. This guy's one of my regular customers. Scorched brake rotors, beat up oil pan, probably never takes his foot off the gas. And he trusts me to make sure it performs when he needs it most. So there's only one brand of auto parts I trust, CarQuest. I mean, you never know. Someday, he might need to give me a ride.
CarQuest, the professional choice.
Beware of the water. Golf sharpshooters, including David Duval, join Greg Norman for the Franklin Templeton Shark Shootout on CBS.
First time today, Buffalo had the football and did not score. And Norv Turner's team will now take over on a 1st and 10 from their own 36. Alexander double tight end set with Jenkins. Handoff Stephen Davis. First man couldn't get him. Second man got him down low. Sam Coward. But a gain of 6 for Davis on first down. There is no doubt, Mark, and I'm not breaking any news stories here, that Norv Turner is under pressure. He's been told by Daniel Snyder, the youngest owner in the NFL, 34 years old, that if he doesn't make the playoffs, he's going to be out of a job.
And we talked with Norv Turner the other day, and he told us point blank, hey, I know up front that if I don't win, I'm not going to be here. And it's no great mystery. We're not going to hide it from anybody. He'd rather have it that way where everyone knows than have it behind closed doors.
He said, hey, everybody knew anyway. Now it's out in the open. Johnson off of play action, the bootleg, and he throws it away near side. Bruce Smith was the man that got into the backfield to hinder Brad Johnson. And it brings up 3rd and 4. Daniel Snyder paid an NFL record $800 million to buy this football team. You know, there are 7 players on the field today that are older than Daniel Snyder.
The old adage, it's not the golden rule, it's the man with the gold that makes the rule.
He's got the gold. But his team is down by 7. They'll hand it off for Michael Westbrook. And Westbrook is stretched out and could not get anywhere close to the marker. Marcellus Wiley sniffed that one out from the beginning.
Looks like Keith Sims on the ground that's injured.
It is Keith Sims, left guard. He remains on the field as we step aside. Buffalo up by a touchdown.
So what will happen to all this now that you're going virtual?
We're not going virtual.
But I read you're getting into internet trading, online cash management.
Well, we are, yeah.
The end of an era.
Not at all. Online trading and the rest of it are simply new tools we're making available.
You don't have to sugarcoat it for me, but I must tell you, I'm going to miss our little chats.
Nelson, I'm not going away. The office isn't going away.
The coffee? The ticker?
Not going away.
What about the little bull?
Not going away.
Good.
Ramada and Holiday Inn may look similar, so at Ramada, we do our personal best to attack even the smallest problems. At Ramada, nothing bugs us like imperfection. For reservations, call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
How far do you have to go to be the best on Earth? A long, long way. Introducing an all-new ATV with Honda's legendary reliability. Available with push-button shifting and four-wheel drive. The new Honda Rancher for the ranch we call Earth.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Merrill Lynch. There's a new way to work with Merrill Lynch any way you want. Ramada. And by the world's most popular ATVs, Honda. Best on Earth.
Former Pro Bowler Keith Sims has been helped to his feet and has been helped off to the sidelines. Appeared to be the right knee on the play with a handoff that went to Michael Westbrook. First punt of the day for Washington. Matt Turk has it take a roll to the 25-yard line. He did not get his foot into it the way that he is accustomed to, as Turk is able to come back from back spasms and a broken finger, but his first punt since those injuries is just a modest 32 yards. Monday on the King of Queens, how does a nice dinner with Ray and his wife turn into a slip disc and a big fat guy stuck in his attic? Ray Romano guest stars in an all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS. I guess Kevin James would qualify as a hog if we're in that Washington Redskins offensive line mode.
Maybe a piglet. He's big, but he's not that big.
First and 10 from the 25 for Buffalo. They have a 17-10 edge. On a give for Linton. Trying to accelerate ahead. He did find a gap as he moved the football to the 27-yard line. Smith and Jones collaborated on the stop after a pickup of a couple.
Jonathan Linton in this offense, particularly when they're in the one back, he's a receiver, but two backs, they're going to run the ball, and you can almost predict what's going to happen, but they're starting to change it up now when they put Antoine Smith in the backfield with Sam Gash. They've been throwing the ball a little more, and it's getting the defense, catching the defense on their heels because they expect run when they see that combination, Sam Gash and Antoine Smith in the backfield.
Play selection, more rushes today than passes, something we have not seen of late from Buffalo. This is Smith in the backfield and a quick toss to Eric Moulds. And there is a dimension that has been lacking from this Buffalo offense. That combination of Flutie to Moulds, 11 yards and a first down for the Bills.
And Darrell Green backs up from his press position, and Eric Moulds reads that. He just runs a simple slant, catch the ball, tries to run, but Darrell Green makes the tackle. The combination of Doug Flutie and Eric Moulds last year was phenomenal. These two guys know each other so well because at the time when Doug Flutie came in, they were both kind of backups, so they practiced with each other on a scout team.
Handoff for Antoine Smith. He kept the feet moving and picked up maybe an extra yard on what turned out to be a 4-yard gain as Greg Jones made the tackle. He crossed the 40-yard line. Missing Moulds, with him in the lineup, they have averaged over 20 points per game. Without him, 14.3, and look at the turnover ratio. Doug Flutie may be forcing things in a little bit more over the last 3 games, where he has 8 interceptions, 11 for the season, matching last year's total. Flutie finished with 11 in all of 98. Play fake. Flutie floats one up in the air. Riemersma got up to get it, and he's forced out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 23 yards, Flutie to Riemersma. And this Buffalo offense maybe catching the Washington defense napping.
And this is an ugly pass, but what sets it up, the play action, faking the ball to Antoine Smith. The linebackers have to react, and it allows Jay Riemersma to get past the linebackers and get past Sam Shade, the safety. But Doug Flutie lofts the ball in there. Not many quarterbacks have the touch of Doug Flutie where you can throw the ball and throw it almost like a shot put and drop it in the breadbasket to Riemersma.
What a weapon Riemersma has been. 4 catches, a career high 86 yards. Running straight ahead with Jonathan Linton. And Washington's Marco Coleman was ready to make the stop.
This is Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, his type of offense. We're going to smash the ball between the tackles. We're going to own the clock. We're going to keep it away from Washington. Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator, standing behind him, told me the same thing. The best thing for our defense is to keep their offense off the field because they won't have that many opportunities. Joe Pendry's offense has done that today.
And Bruce Smith told us flat out, our defensive unit has been on the field too much over the last month.
And they have, and it's not a young defensive unit. The front line, those are mature veterans. They don't have young legs, so they need to be off the field as much as possible.
On 2nd and 9, fake the inside handoff. Flutie on a rollout, throwing to the sideline, brought in by Moulds. Right at the marker. Darrell Green with the coverage, 9 yards through the air.
What sets up this play, the ability to run the ball. Doug Flutie's carried out his fakes the entire day. They fake the run to the right. He carries out the open boot to the left, and Eric Moulds stays with him at the end of the play and catches the ball close to the first down. Here's the key. Run the football. The defense has to respect that. Linebackers have to come up. Safeties have to come up. That opens up alleyways in the pass receiving game.
It is 3rd and less than a yard for Buffalo. Clock is moving. 8:35 and counting left in the 3rd quarter. Bills with a 17-10 lead on Washington. Buffalo 5-3 at the halfway point. Norv Turner's team was hoping to improve to 6-2 at their midway point of the '99 season. Here's Flutie. On a handoff, Jonathan Linton. That's a first down for the Bills. Derek Smith, the middle linebacker, in on the tackle.
Just owning the line of scrimmage. They only need less than a yard, about a foot, but you run behind your Pro Bowlers. And Reuben Brown to the left and John Fina. They get a nice double team block, ace off to the linebacker, get a push, and all you have to do is lean forward, and that's what Jonathan Linton does. Smash mouth football at its best.
Buffalo is doing this without Thurman Thomas. He is still out with the bruised liver. He could miss another 4 weeks of action. And remember, the play took place, first play from scrimmage for the Bills this season in Indianapolis. On a bootleg, off of play action. Flutie cutting it upfield. Kennard Lang didn't have a chance. Reversing field. Flutie's got the first down, and he's spun down inside the 10. What can't this man do on the ground? 14 yards.
When we spoke with Doug Flutie last night, he said, I'm going to have fun out there, and he's having fun. I talked about it earlier. This fake boot, he fakes it to the right, keeps it to run. There's nothing out there to run. He's got to stop because Contain's coming up the field. He looks to throw, no one's open, but what makes the play, the offensive lineman looking to pick up people downfield to make blocks for Doug Flutie because they know when he rolls out of the pocket, he'll make something happen, find someone to block and put on the ground.
How about this, Mark? 4 carries, 41 yards, all of them for first downs. Antoine Smith breaking a tackle and breaking free to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Matt Stevens, the former Bill who started 11 games in a Buffalo uniform back in his rookie season, he missed the tackle.
What happens on the play? The defense gets nose trouble. They come up, they expect the run, they get close to the line of scrimmage, but the blocking of the offensive line, staying on their blocks, and the defense not wrapping up and tackling the running back Antoine Smith, runs through the tackles at the line of scrimmage, scores the touchdown.
Extra point, Steve Christie. He'll tack it on. And it's the Buffalo Bills who have come into Redskins Stadium and sent a shocker through the stands. They lead it 24-10.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow.
Sorry. Not enough. No, still short.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Paper or plastic? Paper.
Make it a Bud Light.
Guys, need a receipt?
CBS Monday on the new hit drama Family Law. Soccer parents out of control.
Parents sued over a bad offside call? No way he was offside.
And their kids aren't going to take it anymore.
We don't want our parents at the game. We can give you a detainer.
Now 2 lawyers clash over soccer wars on Family Law CBS Monday.
Wake up to something new. Visit Ramada and enter to win a trip to New York to see the early show with Bryant and Jane. And enjoy a behind-the-scenes breakfast on the set. Enter now only at Ramada.
You are watching CBS Sports, showcasing college football's top team.
A 9-play, 75-yard drive for the Buffalo Bills, taking up nearly 5 minutes of action. And they put another touchdown on the board. Steve Christie kicks it off. A very short kick. It took a bounce at the 30-yard line. Mike Sellers, the return man now, as he got it ahead to the 35. And a gain of 10. 35-yard line, that's where the Washington offense will need it, because the Redskins need points.
Hey, who's that?
Oh, she's here to meet with the big guys.
On a weekend?
Mm-hmm. Cancel their tea times.
Oh. She must be a big client.
I think it's their life insurance agent.
Huh. That's a new one.
Have you heard from the Quiet Company? Northwestern Mutual Life.
Philips CD recorder. Burn your own CDs.
Son, I want you to remember that loyalty is what really matters. Come on, Jets.
He's looking small.
Oh, yeah! Jerry Bradshaw!
Howdy, partner.
Let's go, Cowboys! Yes! Yes! Jets.
T-Star Johnson.
Loyalty. Huh? What that time?
Monday, how did the King of Queens get stuck in his own closet?
Is there anyone down there who can scratch my inner thigh?
Ray Romano guests on an all-new King of Queens, CBS Monday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Blue from American Express and by Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from a quiet company?
24-10, Buffalo with the lead. Injury update. Keith Sims starting left guard for the Washington Redskins, a sprained right knee. He will not return. Brad Badger, the third-year offensive lineman out of Stanford, steps in. Brad Johnson throwing a sideline route too high for Albert Connell. It's incomplete. Let's talk about the injury for a moment, Mark. Something Washington has been able to avoid this season is injuries. Leomont Evans is the only starter that has been dealt an injury, a concussion. Matt Stevens stepped in for him. Now Norv Turner has to deal with a change on the O-line.
And the thing about this, Norv Turner told us when we talked to him yesterday, hey, there's a situation, Brad Badger, I've got backups on the offensive line, Kip Vickers on the offensive line, on defense. We've got depth here. We haven't had depth in a long time, but we have it with this Redskin team.
Tough break for Sims, who was playing very good football. Johnson throwing wobbly pass over the middle, and it was dropped. Michael Westbrook with Kurt Schultz there, and Westbrook couldn't hold on to it. It's 3rd and 10.
And when you look at this Redskin offense, no big plays in this game. That's the theory of the Buffalo Bills. We're going to make them earn it the entire way down the football field, not give up big plays. This is a team that's used to getting big plays. They're not getting them today. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond. Getting good pressure on quarterback Brad Johnson, but every wide receiver is covered. There's a body on every wide receiver. No one's running free for the Redskins.
A 4-receiver set on a 3rd and 10 from the 35. Johnson fires a pass, and Albert Connell gets walloped. Incomplete. Kurt Schultz. He was there defensively. Connell left his feet, and he paid for it.
Deep slant on the outside. When you go across the middle, that's safety territory. You will pay the price, and on that play, Albert Connell does. Kurt Schultz knows this. They're not going to give up big plays. That's the whole theory of the Buffalo defense. No big plays. If you come across the middle, you'll pay a price.
Johnson, Brad that is, started the game hot. Now with 5 straight incomplete passes. Turk on a punt. Again, a short punt. It'll take a Buffalo bounce. And the line of scrimmage will be right around the 36-yard line. Disappointing day so far for Matt Turk. Disappointing overall for Washington.
You guys! You didn't! And guess what? We got you a
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Thank you.
When you use iLink to connect the Sony Digital 8 Handycam to the Bio PC, anything is possible.
Bill's afraid to eat his stuffed crust backwards.
I'm not afraid. Don't speak. Don't be afraid. Stuffed crust pizza has a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, and a large one topping is $9.99.
Keep your chin up, Bill.
Stuffed crust, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Capture every day in brilliant color. Get the picture with Fujifilm.
Meet Ray's cousin Gerard.
He's a schmo. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Does he remind you of someone?
Oh, my God, I am Gerard.
All new Raymond, CBS Monday.
Pronto presents this very inexpensive commercial to talk about a very inexpensive way to use wireless. Now you can get
various injuries, and tell you what, there were some people in the Washington area, Mark, that thought he might get released because whether it was the owner or the coaching staff wanted him on the field, and he couldn't get out there because of a broken finger or because of back spasms.
There's a question if he broke his finger while practicing or in the game, or he played a basketball game on a Monday night.
Game,
so
right.
They don't like that in the NFL if you get injured if you're not playing on the football field.
On a 1st and 10 now for Buffalo from the 36-yard line. Handoff. Antoine Smith trying to hurdle defenders as he got to the line of scrimmage, but Dana Stubblefield trying to pump this defense up. He was the first man to grab hold. Tonight on 60 Minutes, he's all of 13 years old and he's on trial for murder. He's also on 60 Minutes, and with 1/4 of the doctors in the U.S. now trained in foreign countries, it's more likely that before the doctor can ask, where does it hurt, the patient will ask, where are you from? Tonight on 60 Minutes. No gain on the play, a 2nd and 10 now. Double tight end set with Jonathan Litton in the backfield. That's Remersma in motion. Flutie, passing situation, he'll throw it. On a slant for Andre Reed. He's brought down at midfield. Reed has had success against the Redskins in the past. Came into action with 20 career catches, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns in 4 career games against Washington.
And if you're going to play soft against Andre Reed, he's too cagey of a veteran. He'll find the seam, he'll find the hole, he'll plant and turn around and catch the ball. He does that to the Redskins, but Doug Flutie on the play. He's got every pass in the book. Sidearm, jump pass, sling from underneath. On that play, he rolls out, jumps up in the air, slams it down to his wide receiver, Andre Reed.
Well, those passes are working. 5 straight completions for Doug Flutie, as Andre Reed got that one and Antoine Smith got the carry. Moved it ahead. Derek Smith making the tackle. A gain of 4. And I think Smith has to be happier with this role that he's gotten here today. No, it's not him all the time, but at least there's an element of surprise. He said that the offense was very predictable with him in the backfield.
And not only that, they've been behind so much. They haven't had the opportunity to feed him the football. Now they're ahead. They've got that luxury. In the 4th quarter, both of these guys are going to pound the football. The Bills just incredible, the ball control they have in the total yards in this game.
And the Redskins offense has done nothing in the 2nd half. Antoine Smith did very little on that play. Derek Smith, no relation, able to smell that one from the start. No gain as the clock continues to move. We come up on 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The Bills 24, the Redskins 10, and now Buffalo facing a 3rd and 6.
Seems that the Redskins need a spark defensively. They've got to find out something defensively to turn the ball over, create a turnover, but Buffalo's patient. You know, Wade Phillips on the sidelines, arms crossed, he's not worried, he's patient. I'm going to be patient, I'm going to run the ball, I'm going to take time off the clock. That's the way we play. Let the opposition panic.
No turnovers here today for either team. Washington came in plus 11 turnover ratio, leading the NFC. Flutie will throw it, and caught. Eric Moulds, an acrobatic grab as he was falling down to the ground. 19 yards, 1st down Bills.
And this isn't a pass play and pass reception. What this is, 2 players on the same page that know each other. He turns and looks for the ball, twists his body around, makes the play. The reason why he makes the play, he knows where Doug Flutie's going to throw the ball. That's Eric Moulds. He's missed the last 2.5, 3 weeks. Now he's back. Still not 100%, but he's ready to play. And he and Doug Flutie are on the same page. They know what each other's thinking on every pass route.
And Flutie told us Eric Moulds has a knack of dictating coverage when he gets on the field. And he's right. On a 1st and 10 from the 26 now of Washington, Buffalo has again moved the football. They're mixing it up with Antoine Smith up the middle. Able to break 1 tackle and surge ahead for another 1st down, gain of 11. Right now, let's get an update. We head to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, the road team's winning in 6 of 8 games right now, including Kansas City and Indianapolis, as Elvis Gerback hits Kevin Lockett for the touchdown, and the Chiefs lead inside of 5 minutes to go 3rd quarter. Let's go back to you.
Kansas City turning some heads now in the AFC. It's the defense that has gotten most of the attention. Offense is now picking up. Antoine Smith getting the call once again, trying to carry some tacklers on his back right around the 10-yard line, and Buffalo continues to use up the clock. Greg Jones making the tackle. And Smith now has 13 carries, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And I'll tell you one thing. Antoine Smith has a smile on his face, but there's another Smith out there, Bruce Smith, is even happier because he's on the sidelines watching this. He's not on the field to play, not getting knocked around. And that's the best thing for a defense. Keep them fresh, keep them off the field.
On 2nd and 5 now. Smith and Gash in the backfield. Buffalo off of play action. Flutie's in big trouble. Redskins have gotten into the pocket defensively, and Flutie is forced to throw it away. most quarterbacks probably would have gone down right away, as there is a flag on the field. It was Jones and Barber who got into the backfield. Against Buffalo. And for the Bills, that will be their first penalty.
Ineligible man downfield. Number 77 in the offense. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
And this is the reason why. As an offensive lineman, when your quarterback's scrambling, you don't know where he is. You think he's going to run the ball, so you go pick up blockers down the field to play. That's what the offensive lineman thinks, their mentality. But Doug Flutie, what a magician, making people miss, pirouetting around. It's incredible the things he does. Not many quarterbacks in the NFL could get out of that situation and throw the ball away as Doug Flutie does.
In the red zone today, 4 possessions. They have scored on all 4. 3 have been touchdowns. Now a 2nd and 10 from the 15. Gash in motion. Handoff. Jonathan Litton had a hole, but fortunate for the Washington defense that Dana Stubblefield was able to cut him down low. Could have been a big gainer. Instead, Buffalo will have to settle for a pickup of about 6.
And you're absolutely right. Tremendous blocking. If Dana Stubblefield doesn't come off this block, it's a touchdown. Jonathan Litton sees daylight. There's nothing in front of him but the end zone. But Dana Stubblefield fights off the blocker. Reuben Brown makes an outstanding play. He saved a touchdown on that play.
Norv Turner told us he doesn't think Stubblefield is a great pass rusher, and he thought those numbers a couple of years ago were inflated.
Yeah, but NFC Defensive Player of the Year, 15 sacks. He'll get to the quarterback for me anytime.
Now Reed in motion. 3rd and 9. Flutie on a quick throw, caught by Moulds. Salters into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo Bills. Redskins owner Daniel Snyder, along with the 77,000 plus here at Redskins Stadium, did not expect this.
And Eric Moulds is just body position on Darrell Green. He's bigger than Darrell Green, younger, just as fast, gets in the right position. It's a slant in front of Darrell Green's face. There's no way that you can play it. You have to come over to the top. It's a penalty. Eric Moulds won the battle.
Steve Christie with the extra point, and the route is on. 31-10, Buffalo. If somebody told you before the game today that one of these two teams would have 31 points late 3rd quarter, I don't know many people that would have picked the Bills.
Not many at all. And Eric Moulds just runs right through the tackle of Darrell Green. But it's body positioning. When you get in the red area, you've got to get close on the line of scrimmage and fight. Darrell Green didn't. He gave the cushion. Eric Moulds found the cushion and caught the football and just broke through an arm tackle, and it's a touchdown. But no one would think ever. The Washington Redskins totaling up the points against the Bears last week and totaling up early, and then against the Giants 50 points, that if you saw this game and saw the score, you'd have to take a double and triple take saying that's the Buffalo Bills. They scored 16 and 13 points in the last 2 games.
After the 2nd loss of the season to the Dallas Cowboys, Daniel Snyder and Norv Turner met behind closed doors in a fairly vocal meeting. Turner came out to meet with the media some 40 minutes later. And obviously the speculation began at that point that Snyder, A, was not happy with the team, that there would be changes made as well. Some felt that Mike Nolan, defensive coordinator, was in jeopardy of losing his job. A number of people also felt that players would get released because of that loss. It never really happened. Turner maybe was able to settle things down with Daniel Snyder. Then they come back and they win a game last week in blowout fashion over Chicago. Brian Mitchell on the return. Redskins just need a big play here. Mitchell gets across the 35-yard line. Donovan Greer making the tackle, 22 yards. Washington Redskins.
Wow.
2nd and 3rd quarters, they have outscored opponents 170-62. That has not been the case today. 28-3. The Bills have outscored Washington in the 2nd and 3rd quarters combined.
What they've been able to do is put the hammer down. Before you go to half, you want to have the momentum. When you come out of halftime in the beginning of the 3rd quarter, you want to score points to get the momentum. They've been able to do that in every other game except this one.
1st and 10 for Washington from the 38. Brad Johnson gets it to Westbrook. And Michael Westbrook is brought down at the 43-yard line of Buffalo. Thomas Smith and Henry Jones combining to make the tackle. And it's good for 20 yards. Brad Johnson got off to a very strong start. It looked initially like Washington was going to do whatever they wanted to do offensively, but the Buffalo defense has responded since that first quarter.
It has been, and really it's after the first series where they were able to gash the Bills defense with some big runs, and the Bills just responded and started putting pressure on the quarterback and stopping the run.
They're in throwing mode. The ball was juggled. It was thrown into a crowd. Michael Westbrook couldn't hold on to it. Ken Irvin was there defensively. And Pat Williams was able to get a hand on Brad Johnson in the backfield.
For Brad Johnson, he's got to go to Michael Westbrook. He's their biggest receiver, 220 pounds. He's almost like a linebacker out there playing against defensive backs. He's very physical, long arms, can go after the ball. If you've got to have a big play, you turn to Michael Westbrook. But on the other side of the coin, the Bills defense, they're not a blitzing defense. They've been coming with both linebackers. Some crosses trying to put pressure on quarterback Brad Johnson.
On a 2nd and 10 now from the 43. Trying to keep the defense honest. They hand it off to Stephen Davis. He got across the 40 for a pickup of 4. End of the third quarter here at Redskins Stadium. 31-10. The Bills lead. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station.
A hijacked submarine. Missiles aimed at New York.
The target is the Statue of Liberty.
The countdown has begun.
You gotta give me more time.
All new Jag, CBS Tuesday.
Shake, Rattle, and Roll, a musical miniseries event. CBS tonight.
Primeco presents this very inexpensive commercial to talk about a very inexpensive way to use wireless. Now you can get 100% digital phones starting at just $49. And you can get 100 anytime minutes for as little as $24.99 a month with nationwide long distance included. And at Primeco, weekend plans include nationwide long distance too, with no annual contract and no hidden charges. It's Primeco's way of spreading holiday cheer. So go ahead and call. It's Primeco.
There has never been a better time to buy. Get pre-holiday savings now at Ingram Park Mazda. Buy now before the holiday car buying crunch and get your best savings and selection. Plus find 0.0% APR. Get the 99 Mazda B3000 Troy Lee pickup now $4,000 off. Or the stylish 2000 Mazda 626 LS just $15,988. Or the sporty Mazda Protege DX only $99.88. Additional lenders will be on hand during this event. No applications will be refused. But hurry, these pre-holiday savings end November 20th. Ingram Park Mazda, Loop 410 at Calabria.
You know how you're supposed to eat Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza?
Bill doesn't get it. Backwards, Bill. The other way. Backwards, Bill. Backwards. That boy. Now bite it. Billy. Bite it, Billy.
Jill's not afraid to eat her stuffed crust backwards. Everybody knows how to eat stuffed crust pizza backwards. With a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, it's the most fun you can have with a pizza. A large one topping is $9.99. Jill's made of tougher stuff than Bill.
Take a bite, Billy. Backwards, Bill. Keep your chin up, Bill.
Stuffed crust. Another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Change of Fortune. Tomorrow at 10 on Ken's 5.
Beginning of the fourth quarter here at Redskins Stadium. Buffalo with the big lead on Washington. Ian Eagle, Mark May, our entire CBS crew on hand. Norv Turner. I can't believe that this is what he envisioned. He did say that he felt Buffalo was one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. But we didn't know if that was lip service in our meeting with him. That's a drop. Larry Centers. One of the best reputations in the NFL and some of the best numbers of all time of running backs catching the football. Now it's 4th and 6. They're going to go for it. At the midway point of the NFL season, time to separate the contenders from the pretenders. Get a complete review of every team as they get ready for playoff positioning. Just click on NFL at cbs.sportsline.com. They are 1 of 3 on 4th down conversions this season. This is a 4th and 6 from the 39. Johnson under heat, scrambling, throwing short, incomplete with Albert Connell wide open. He could not float the football to him. Sean Price was among those Bills applying pressure in the pocket, and the Redskins turned it over on downs.
And the Buffalo Bills wanted to upset the timing of the Washington Redskins, wanted to interrupt their timing, their rhythm passing. They've been able to do that. They've been able to put pressure on Brad Johnson, cover their wide receivers downfield, and this is a situation what the Bills wanted. They wanted to put the Redskins in a situation where they had to respond from behind because they hadn't been in that situation many times this season.
I don't know if you can look at a turning point this early in a game in the first quarter, but missing that field goal I tell you, that's a play that, as you look back on it more and more now, may have changed the momentum shift in this game.
Absolutely, and we talked about that earlier. That was a field goal that probably shouldn't have been attempted because it gave Buffalo excellent field position. They turn around and score a touchdown.
Antoine Smith, he's brought down after a pickup of one. Shade and Smith, that's Derek Smith making the tackle. It was a 55-yard field goal attempt. Norv Turner deciding to allow Brett Conway to go out and give it a ride. Came up short. Bills took over at their own 45-yard line. They went down the field. And I think the Buffalo offense has just picked up steam along the way. Look at the ball control. That's double. 30 minutes compared to 15 minutes.
And that's controlling it at the line of scrimmage. That's having your way with the defense and keeping your defense off the field, the Buffalo Bills.
And they'll keep it on the ground. Antoine Smith got caught from behind. Kennard Lang got him around the ankle. But right now, if you're Buffalo, you'll keep trying it.
Absolutely. This is the point of the game where Joe Penry, the offensive coordinator, Wade Phillips, the head coach, they've turned the ball over to the running game, to the offensive line. They're hanging their hat on the guys up front. And even if they don't get the big plays out of the running game, they're taking time off the clock.
I tell you, I'm thinking about it more and more now, Mark, in our meetings with the Bills players. They
were
happy. Confident.
They were giddy. That was the thing.
Yeah.
They were giddy.
I mean, they were taking on a 5-2 team, and you just sensed a confidence from them, even though they had just played 3 poor games in a row. Yes, they got a win last week, but they didn't play well against Baltimore. Here's Flutie. He'll throw it. And the catch made by Andre Reed. First down, Buffalo, as he crosses midfield. 14 yards. Flutie to Reed. That's 8 straight completions for Doug Flutie, and these fans are beginning to head for the exits.
And I'll tell you what, when I played here, we played at the old stadium, RFK. If we were getting defeated like this, the fans got on us, they booed us, but they didn't leave this early in the game. They waited around because they thought magic may happen throughout the 4 quarters of the game, and they never left their seats until it was over. And that's, one thing, we probably created a monster because of the success that we've had over the years at Washington, but they always stayed until the very end.
Well, don't give yourself too much credit. Maybe they're leaving early because it's so hard to get out of this stadium. You know it and I know it. Antoine Smith able to accelerate ahead to the 42-yard line. Dan Wilkinson making the tackle after the gain of 4. And now Washington, they have a lot to think about.
And not only that, in this situation, as a Washington Redskin or any team, you're being defeated at home, you're being humiliated. The game's not over yet. There's over 12 minutes. You have to fight until the final bell. And I'm looking at these players. There's not a lot of emotion on the sidelines, not a lot of emotion on the field, and that's the key. When you're getting beaten in a game, you don't give up. You find a way to make plays so you can build on that for the following week. You don't throw out the white flag.
Redskins are at Philadelphia next week for a big divisional game. And if Washington ends up losing this contest, then things will be tied up in the NFC East. Timeout taken by Buffalo. Clock is stopped with 11:59 to play in the 4th. The Bills rolling over Washington.
On November 19th,
James Bond is here.
Get ready for the last great thrill ride of the century. The World Is Not Enough. Rated PG-13. Starts November 19th.
Select road. Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
So with Staples.com, you order the supplies you want, I approve them, and they're delivered the next day.
You mean I can order pins?
Yes.
Paper?
Yes.
How about an executive leather chair?
No.
Paper clips?
Yes.
Linda.
When you people are finished, I have a light bulb in my office that he's changing too. I love the way they pull together.
Want great prices on everything, even furniture? Staples.com.
So instead of paying a separate commission every time you trade, you'd pay an annual fee, trade all you want.
All I want?
Yeah, virtually unlimited.
Oh, really?
Remember the financial plan we're working from here, Dad. The point is long-term capital appreciation.
I know.
You just don't want you sitting by the computer all day buying and selling stocks.
Yeah. Show me how I log on to your research.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah,
Investing is serious business, Dad.
I promise I'll do my homework, okay?
Tuesday on 60 Minutes 2. What's the richest man in the world planning to do with all that money? Bill Gates tells Charlie Rose. Tuesday at 9, 8 Central.
31-10, Buffalo with a lead on Washington, and some of the old timers, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith. They remain confident. They always thought they were a good football team. They just felt that what had happened the last 3 or 4 weeks was just a minor hiccup along the way.
Those guys are old timers. They played a long time on. They realize it's a long season. You may have a couple of bad games back to back, but you have to wait out the season and find out what happens in the end.
Marco Coleman got Antoine Smith down low. Sets up 3rd and 6. Bruce Smith, he had to get 40 tickets because of all the local interest. He's from Norfolk, Virginia. He told us about a 2-hour and 45-minute drive for him. Probably 3 hours and 45 minutes for most people, but you know, interesting how he broke down the tickets family-wise.
Oh, that was great. Well, my mom and my relatives, they got the good tickets, the expensive tickets. All the other friends and other family, they had to pay for the tickets. They weren't the highest priced tickets in the stadium.
Well, they're sitting up top. Well, Bruce paid for it.
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
Oh, no way. No way. You're not Ticketron as a player. I learned that long ago.
Flag comes down. Didn't look like the Bills got the play off in time. Oh, I think Bruce paid for him.
Delay game. Offense. A 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
See, most players are willing to lay out the money for their friends and family. Unlike yourself, a little bit on the cheap side. Let's face facts here.
I may be a little frugal with $1, but I can stretch it for a week, and here's the reason why. 13 years in the NFL, if you gave tickets to everyone over our Super Bowls and playoffs and games, I probably would have ended up paying for my paycheck, owing the Washington Redskins rather than getting a paycheck every week, because every week people think the tickets are free. They're not free. You have to pay.
On a 3rd and 11. Shotgun for Flutie, movement as Washington was coming on a blitz. Dana Stubblefield jumping forward. Jerry Ostrowski, the center, in a matchup with him. And here's Ron Winter.
Encroachment. Number 94 of the defense. A 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
See the taping on the left hand of Bruce Smith. That's number 34, and certainly that's Smith in a tribute to Thurman Thomas, who has been forced to sit out basically the entire season with an injury that took place in week 1. And Walter Payton, I should say, the great Walter Payton, who passed away earlier this week. And Bruce Smith, who has such respect for the game of football. We talked to him about Payton. He told us, hey, you're talking about one of the best of all time. Yeah, Bruce was very interesting to chat with this week, Mark. He got into a number of different topics, including what he thinks is a general lack of respect for him in the Buffalo area, where the media seems to be comparing him not to anyone else in the NFL, but just to himself of 10 years ago.
And that's not fair. Of course, he's older now, but he still gets the respect of every team in the NFL. They slide to him, they double team him, they chip him. Spoke with Russ Grimm, the offensive line coach of the Washington Redskins, and he said he's as good as he's ever been. The reason why he gets more respect now because of the zone blitz defenses, you have to slide to him, because if you don't put 2 people on Bruce Smith, he's going to get his sacks. He only has 2 sacks this season, but if you look at the other sacks, every season Bruce Smith's going to get double-digit sacks. Here, he was injured that season. He will find a way to get sacks. He already leads the teams in pressures. He's one step away of getting sacks.
Smith also, when we spoke with him about Keith Sims, who was forced to leave this game earlier with a knee injury, an old friend from the Miami Dolphins, he said, hey, I'm thrilled for Sims. He's a guy that is a tough competitor, a 3-time Pro Bowler, as they looks like will take the delay of game penalty. We'll move back a little bit on 4th down, maybe create some extra space for Chris Moore to work with. Washington looking to possibly turn this penalty down.
And also take time off the clock. That was key.
Delay game. Offense. Penalties decline. Remains 4th down.
Well, they gave it a shot. Wade Phillips, who we saw smiling earlier as we went to break. Mark, it took a while for him to smile last week.
Well, I think it was the 59th minute and 37th second he finally smiled last week. In this game, he was smiling in the 3rd quarter, but he's confident in his team. At no time did he waver about his football team or Doug Flutie replacing him, and he stood by all of his players through the adversity in Buffalo.
A fair catch signal from Brian Mitchell. Another 9:16 on the clock, but this one looks to be pretty much in the books. 31-10.
For Dodge Dakota, success comes about as naturally as wearing the Magnum engine badge. It offers far and away the best power in the class. It also offers the very best in room, payload, and of course, towing. And look what else it's pulled off. Dodge Dakota is ranked best compact pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power & Associates. Dodge Dakota. Different.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow.
CBS presents a musical miniseries event with Academy Award winner James Coburn.
We're offering the works to Tyler Hart.
Dana Delaney.
The greatest rock and roll singer in the world.
Kathy Baker.
Dreams don't die.
And Gerald McRaney.
What is wrong with a singer like Pat Boone?
Shake, Rattle, and Roll, CBS tonight.
In the 14th century, 25 million Europeans died of bubonic plague. Guess what just walked in the door at Chicago Hope?
CBS Thursday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nike. 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. And by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform. Be different.
9:16 mark. Fourth quarter with Buffalo leading Washington 31-10. Some fans staying around to watch the end of this one and trying to at least enjoy the final 9+ minutes of action with the Redskins in a big hole here in the fourth. Brad Johnson will throw it on first down. Caught in a seam by Michael Westbrook. And he's down to the 32-yard line, 22 yards. And a first down for Washington. Redskins in their hurry-up offense trying to move down the field as quickly as possible and just trying to stay in this game, trailing by 3 touchdowns. Here's Johnson. Little dump off, setting up the screen. And Brian Mitchell able to bring it in. Down to the 37, he picked up 6. Antoine Winfield on the tackle. Redskins working very quickly here. On a 2nd and 4. Johnson. Little sidearm throw makes the connection to Stephen Alexander. Picked up about 3 on that play as Henry Jones was able to make the stop. Looks to be shy of the first down.
For the Redskins offense, you just want to generate something positive, march down the field, hopefully get points. The Buffalo defense, they're going to be methodical. Let them chip away down the field, not give up the big play.
Norv Turner. His teams have gotten off to some pretty good starts in the past. They've also gotten off to some lousy starts in the past. He's just trying to figure out a way to combine a good start with a good finish instead of a bad start, good finish, or good start, bad finish. I think you get my point.
I get the point. And the NFL season's so long, you've got to play the entire season. And if you start out bad, you finish strong. And the next year, you start out awful and you finish strong. And then the next year, you start awful and you don't. And you look at Norv Turner and his tenure in Washington, and that's the type of seasons he's had. He hasn't been able to string along an entire season where they played well throughout the season. And you can take a look, you know, they start out great in 96 and horrible finish and, you know, mediocre the following year, then 0-7 and a strong finish last year. If you could piece these two together, this one and this one, you know, 11-5, you're in the playoffs.
3rd and inches for Washington. Looking for the first down, Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell needed less than a yard, and the officials feel he got it. Henry Jones on the tackle. A timeout. Washington has called one with 7:47 left. Fourth quarter. Bills 31. Redskins 10. We're coming back after this.
Most compact club cabs just aren't cut out for big loads. So you end up leaving a little cargo behind. Having to lose a little weight. Cutting your fun short. Dodge Dakota, however, is different. with more available payload, towing, and power. Dakota. Anything less doesn't cut it. Dakota, now ranked best compact pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power & Associates.
I knew I was in for the fight of my life, but I was ready.
When my husband and his friends start exchanging fish stories, it's the phone bill that can turn into a whopper.
I fought this monster for hours. First I had the upper hand, then he took control.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321. With 10-10-321, calls over 10 minutes are 50% off. That's just 8 cents a minute. Daytime, nighttime, anytime.
I'll tell you, it was like a whale.
Yeah?
You should have seen that.
Well, let me tell you about my trip.
Dial 10-10-321 and talk as long as you want, whenever you want.
CBS Tuesday on the #1 new drama, In the Blink of an Eye.
My son has been shot.
Judge Amy Gray's brother becomes a victim of violence. Now she'll struggle to stay objective.
Murderer.
When she hands down her next sentence.
Just because I'm in there wanting to rip the guy's head off doesn't mean I can't be impartial.
Emotions run high on both sides of the bench.
There's nothing wrong with taking yourself off this case.
On a powerful new Judging Amy CBS Tuesday.
Oh, not again.
All Buffalo in the second half. They lead Washington 31-10. Washington defense didn't know what hit them today, with the Buffalo offense having by far its best production in quite some time. Long ball is thrown and intercepted, a flag down. Kurt Schultz brought it in. Ken Irvin was also involved in the play, and it will be pass interference. Michael Westbrook, the intended receiver.
Now, and the thing about this play, Ken Irvin didn't have to touch Michael Westbrook. It was an interception.
Pass interference. Number 27 in the defense. Penalized at the spot of the foul. And a first down.
The ball was clearly underthrown. Kurt Schultz breaks on the ball. Outstanding interception, but right here, he doesn't have to do that. The ball is underthrown. Kurt Schultz makes an outstanding play on the ball, but Ken Irvin doesn't have to put his hands on Michael Westbrook. But here's the key. That's the first time in the entire game a Redskin wide receiver has been behind the Buffalo defensive secondary.
And it took until the 7:44 mark of the fourth quarter for that to happen. Here's Johnson. Thrown into traffic and nearly picked off. Jones was there with Steven Alexander, the intended receiver, the tight end.
We talk about Bruce Smith. We talk about the linebackers having a great day. The defensive secondary, Thomas Smith, Kurt Schultz, Henry Jones, Ken Irvin, tremendous job today. They've been all over the Washington Redskins wide receiver, blanketing them throughout the entire game, up the field, down the field, in the middle, not giving them a crease anywhere.
Now, and Henry Jones bought a ticket for his brother-in-law here, who grew up a huge Redskins fan. I said, who's he rooting for this game? You paid for the tickets. He said, he better be rooting for Buffalo. Here's Johnson in the pocket. Floats one to the end zone. Incomplete. Stephen Davis was in the area, but Johnson took a lick from Gabe Northern, who had a terrific effort last week. Redskins offense under Norv Turner. A song that is close to Mark May's heart. See what they've done to get to #2 this season. They have not resembled that offense, though, here today. The running game was taken away early. They got down big, and the running game really never played a role. So they have been forced to throw the football. 386.9 yards per game. They're nowhere close to that number today. Johnson throwing. Caught. And a touchdown. Albert Connell. 19 yards. And Washington trying to get within striking distance.
And that's the first big play this Washington Redskin offense has generated today. They've had a lot of miscues. They've been out of sync. They have no rhythm in their offense. But on this play, Albert Connell comes up with a big reception and gets into the end zone. That's what they need for a lift. If they can come back in this game, outstanding. If they can't, at least they can say they can still score points on a good defense.
5th touchdown of the season for Connell. 7 play, 90 yards. And Brad Johnson has his 15th throwing touchdown of the year. Extra point is added by Brett Conway. Washington just trying to remain alive in the fourth.
No, we don't have that.
When Tom Stemberg discovered he couldn't find a ribbon.
No, we don't have that.
For his home printer.
Printer?
He opened his own store, then another, and changed the way office products are sold. Being ever alert to customer needs, Staples has set company sales records every year it's been in business. Where do you learn about companies that are creating entire new industries? Exactly. NASDAQ, the stock market for a digital world.
Not a lot of people know what the SEAL does. I kind of like the idea of that.
So you need to get in and, you know, do your job and get out of there not being seen.
No SEAL gets left behind. Everybody goes home.
You have to be able to persevere and get the job done no matter what. I will not fail.
The kind of people we require, someone who can go hard or go home.
I knew what I came in the Navy to do. I specifically came in to become a Navy SEAL.
For Dodge Dakota, success comes about as naturally as wearing the Magnum engine badge. It offers far and away the best power in the class. It also offers the very best in room, payload, and of course, towing. And look what else it's pulled off. Dodge Dakota is ranked best compact pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power & Associates. Dodge Dakota. Different.
The Beatles! See the classic performances that turned rock stars into legends. Rock and Roll Forever, CBS Wednesday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by NASDAQ, the stock market for a digital world, and by the U.S. Navy. Let the journey begin.
Back at Redskins Stadium, where the Buffalo Bills lead the Redskins 31-17. Washington finally putting some points on the board here in the second half with the touchdown, Johnson to Connell, and an onside kick opportunity now. Brett Conway lining it up. The Bills awaiting. They have everybody up. Try on a bounce. Who's got it? Buffalo. So the Bills recover it at the 37-yard line of Washington. You take a gamble like that, you obviously pay for it if it doesn't work, especially at the 7:23 mark. Is that the right call, Mark?
You have to at this point of the game. You've got to create something positive for your football team. You just scored. Find a way to create another turnover, and this is the way the Washington Redskins made their attempt. And last week against the Chicago Bears, the Bears, 4 attempts on onside kicks. They got all of them. So I think Washington saw that film, broke it down, and said, if we need it this week, we'll use it.
Henry Jones was able to bring it in. And Buffalo with the 2-touchdown lead and the ball. Incredible field position. They spotted officially at the 38. Trying to use up as much clock as possible. Flutie sends Gash in motion. Jonathan Linton finds an opening, and Linton just will not go down. Finally at the 28-yard line, they spin him to the grass. 10 yards they pick up on first down. Friday on CBS, it's the new drama critics call mesmerizing and addictive. Catch it all new now and again. See what all the talk is about Friday night right here on CBS.
And at this point of the game, if you're the Washington Redskins, you need a turnover. I put 9 men in the box. There's only 2 wide receivers on the outside. They've got the middle of the field where it's congested with defenders. You know Buffalo's going to run the ball. You've got 1 wide receiver in Eric Moulds. Put everybody in the box. Try to create something. Stop them on the run early.
They'll call it second and very short. Actually, more advantageous for the Bills. They get another down to run with. And the handoff goes to Jonathan Linton. Linton remains inbounds as he's brought down at the 13-yard line. Champ Bailey, a name that we have not called much of here today. A player that would probably win the NFC Rookie of the Year if the season ended right now. He made the stop.
But it's the blocking up front. The lineman, John Fina, with an outstanding block, following his blockers. The pull around the outside of Dusty Ziegler. But it's the running of Jonathan Linton. Smart play, stay in bounds. But the Redskins, to create a play, you need 8, 9 men in the box. And they've got their safeties playing deep. That allows the running back, Jonathan Linton, once you get by the line of scrimmage, it's free sailing from there.
75 yards for Litton. That's a career high.
But Doug Flutie's the key. He's the key. He made things happen with the football.
Now it's Antoine Smith trying to cut it back. Smith, he rolls down inside the 10. A flag comes down. Clock is stopped with 5:42 left of the fourth quarter. It's holding, and it's against Buffalo. So they'll back it up.
And that's really the only thing that slowed this Buffalo offense down, penalties. Very few of those.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, number 85 of the offense. Holding, number 77 of the offense. The penalty on 85 is declined. Penalty on 77 is accepted. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So Remersma is happy. Robert Hicks
is not. He's going to argue that one, I guarantee you, because I would, and I haven't passed. Big Jerry Ostrowski in the middle, 325 pounds at the center position. He's got the blood on him right there, the dirt all over him. It's a tough competitor. Look at the blood on the thigh there. He was an ex-tackle. They moved him inside, and that's a powerful man at the center position. They don't come any bigger or any better than Jerry Ostrowski.
Looks like a first-grade finger painting project, but we're not talking about paint.
That's the real stuff.
Clock is moving, 5:22 and counting left in the fourth quarter. Flutie just waiting and waiting to finally make the call on a handoff for Jonathan Litton right up the middle. Reuben Brown with a nice block for an 8-yard gain. You know, this Washington defense came in ranked dead last in the NFL, but Norv Turner tried to tell us the numbers are not the story here. We're much better than that. They didn't really prove those numbers any different. They've lived up to that last place ranking. It's Buffalo all over Washington, 31-17. Timeout.
The world's crankiest doctor,
idiot,
quack, becomes the world's grouchiest patient.
SpongeBob?
Remember last time? Never mind. And all new Becker, CBS Monday.
The government built him.
Good. Do I have to?
And cut him off from his family. But when his child's in danger...
Your daughter's in a very deep coma.
Nothing will stop him from getting to her.
Going up.
You go marching in there and I'll have a dozen sharpshooters take you down.
An all new Now and Again, CBS Friday.
31-17, Buffalo. Ian Eagle along with Mark May. I've been searching and searching for number 73 on the field for the Washington Redskins.
Oh, no.
There he is. Oh, you looked suave.
A little beefier, and that was the best body of the offensive line.
That's what Darryl Green said.
He was being kind.
On 2nd and 4, here's Litton. Keeps it moving, and he pushes the pile across the 10-yard line.
And I talked about this early in the game, the way that the Buffalo Bills were able to run the football and pound it with their big offensive line against the Washington Redskins defense. And I said that will tell in the fourth quarter. Now we're seeing that, particularly late in the fourth quarter. They're just pushing the Redskins defensive line any way they want to push them.
Clock continues to move. It's now 3rd down for Buffalo. They have the big lead, 31-17. Here's Flutie giving it off. Jonathan Litton. He has been outstanding here this afternoon as Litton gets inside the 5-yard line, and it looks like enough for a first down for Buffalo. Is this a little strange for you to come back into the D.C. area, call a Redskins game?
It is, and particularly here because I played at RFK, the old stadium in Washington, D.C., and this stadium's closer to the Beltway in Maryland. And you still have the same feeling because it's the burgundy and gold. No matter where the burgundy and gold play, it's always going to be a piece of me and a part of me because I spent 10 years in Washington.
Looked at number 73, and he's not active here today. That's Jamie Brown.
And he's deactivated today. I think that was an honor of me, so we're not going to see old 73 out there, but we're seeing it again.
It's an encore performance.
Victor Frank, the producer down in his truck. Margaret, get that out of there. All right, guys, get that off the screen. But those were the glory days, but this team will get back to that. And they played well this season, but now they face a challenge where they're playing a quality team, and they're just not up to the level of a good football team at this point.
You don't want to show Daniel Snyder, do you, right now?
I don't think he's a happy camper. And you know, you pay a lot of money for a franchise. It's your investment. But, you know, you look at this team, and I talked about it early. We both talked about it early. They hadn't played a team with a winning record. Only one team they defeated the last 2 years in 10 games with a winning record that they've defeated. And this is their second opportunity, and it's another blown opportunity.
See, I'm not even saying the loss today. The fact that there are so many people in this stadium that continue to tell me that I look like him. That might trouble him more.
If we had a split
loss.
screen. But the thing that really got me is when you walked into the press box and 8 or 10 people scattered and got out of your way.
Oh, yeah. Said, give me a hot dog.
Close the door.
Guys were moving all over the place. They didn't know what to expect. You say, what? Daniel Snyder's wearing a CBS jacket? Oh, boy. Steve Christie is on. They came up just short of the first down. So Christie will attempt the field goal with 4:04 left.
Short of the first down.
And we get the official word from Ron Winter, and now we are ready to resume.
And I'm surprised, Diane, this team is 8 for 11 on fourth down, the best in the NFL, that they're not going for the first down here. And it's not a point of rubbing it in. It's just that security blanket of getting that extra touchdown.
You think Buffalo is looking to challenge this? Challenge the spot?
Wade's pretty cagey. He's over there thinking, well, maybe we should. Let's give it a shot. He's got a few extra time. Why not?
So they're going to take a closer look at the spot of the football.
And so are we. Nice gap blocking by the offensive line. This is the old counter play where you pull one instead of two. Good blocking by the line, good push, but Jonathan Linton fighting for the extra yardage. Big time running.
He had to get to the 3-yard line. I don't know if they're going to be able to tell from that exact angle, but here's a better look.
Low coming through the hole. It's tough to stop a man that big and that strong when he's that close to the ground and that low to the ground.
Looks like it was right around that 3-yard line, so really a toss-up here. On a coach's challenge, they are challenging the spot.
Do you think at this point Wade Phillips is just testing the system to see if it works? Why not? Give it a shot.
Whirl. I'm not sure. If he's just hoping that traffic will loosen up after the game so they can get to the airport a little bit quicker. 4:04 mark of the fourth quarter. Now, what does this mean? Well, it gives Buffalo 3 extra downs to use up clock instead of settling for a field goal here with 4:04 left. They could chew up another minute and change.
And keep the ball of the Redskins offense. And you really don't want your team on the field that long, but taking another look at it, Jonathan Linton powering through the hole, and it's awful close. It all depends where they spot it, right foot, left foot.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The result of the play is short of the first down. It'll be 4th down. The clock will start on the ready for play.
So that
Buffalo is charged with a timeout.
There you go. Thank you, Ron. They'll cost Buffalo the timeout. So just 1 remaining now for the Bills. Washington with just 1 left as well. This will be right around a 21-yard field goal for Steve Christie.
The Washington Redskins, you need something positive to happen. Hopefully block the kick, return it. You hope for that magic to happen in the game, but Buffalo's just standing pat. They're going to take their time, go down the field play, take their time kicking the ball. If they get the ball back, it's going to be milk the clock time. They're going to run on it, fall on it. And North Turner's just frustrated at this point. Well, he can't get a clear decision out there on the field, and he's frustrated.
Washington will use the timeout just as 2 seconds came off the clock. So he's trying to conserve as much time as possible now. And now it's become a little bit of a chess match here.
Charge to Buffalo.
Clock shouldn't run. So why the clock was running in the first place following what was a timeout because of the challenge. And I think now the officials have sorted that out. You do not run the clock there. And now the field goal will stand. So Washington did not have to use a timeout. It's a 21-yard field goal for Steve Christie. And Buffalo extends its lead 34-17 with just over 4 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Take a look at the remaining schedule now as Washington will be dealt a loss unless a miracle takes place in the final 4 minutes. Coming up, Within the division, Philadelphia, Giants, Philadelphia at Detroit, Arizona division game, and then some tough matchups on the road, Indy and San Francisco. And they'll wrap it up after the new year against the Miami Dolphins. That is not an easy schedule compared to what they saw in the first half.
And you know why I put those little X's there? Those are the teams that have winning records at this point in the season. When you look at those teams, they've got winning records. The Redskins are 1-10 the last 2 years. It looks like they're going to be 1-10 at this game the last 2 years with teams with records of 500 or better. Those are the big challenges for the Redskins the remainder of the season. They've got to find a way to beat the good teams.
Their only losses this season prior to this one came against the Dallas Cowboys. One on the opening game of the year where they had a huge lead, if I remember correctly. And Dallas then stormed back to force overtime and get the victory, correct?
Correct, and the question has never been the offense. Norv Turner calls the play. The offense have been phenomenal this year. It's been the defense. They haven't found a way to do a good job of shutting down teams. They've been able to come up with turnovers, but they just can't shut teams down.
Well, they need a quick score, and they could use Brian Mitchell on a long return. Mitchell is brought down at the 30-yard line by Marlo Perry. It's a 28-yard return for him. For all you music fans, here's an update on the CBS poll of America's picks for the ultimate rock band. Elton John is still the top keyboardist, just edging out Billy Joel. You can still cast your vote at CBS.com or at the Hard Rock Cafe. And don't miss the ultimate rock and roll musical, tonight's world premiere miniseries, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, right here on CBS. Under 4 minutes to play now. Washington with it on a 1st and 10 from the 30. Johnson stepping up in the pocket, and Johnson is brought down. Loose football. It's recovered by Bruce Smith. Game over.
And that'll do it for the Washington Redskins. Pressure by the Bills front four. They only rush 4. Bruce Smith comes up with a big fumble play for the Buffalo Bills. But here's the situation as an offensive lineman. You know to throw the ball. The defense is going to pin their ears back, and they're going to get after the quarterback. But Pat Williams, the nose tackle playing defensive tackle, makes the play, makes the sack, strips the ball. Bruce Smith comes up with a fumble. Only rushing 4. No stunts, just man-to-man, mano-a-mano. They just pushed Brad Johnson down. Pat Williams, big play by Pat Williams, pushing the offensive lineman, Brad Badger, right back to the quarterback and stripping quarterback Brad Johnson of the football.
And it came at the 3:45 mark of the 4th quarter, the first turnover we have seen here this afternoon. Handoff. Antoine Smith, he is spilled down across the 20-yard line as he got ahead right around the 19. Call it a gain of 5. Clock continues to move. Kurt Govea making the tackle. For the Bills, their remaining schedule looks like this. Next Sunday, they are home for the Miami Dolphins, then at the Jets, home for New England. Then the bye week rolls around after 3 straight AFC East matchups. Matchup with the Giants, at Arizona, at New England, and wrap things up against Indianapolis, where it all started for Buffalo this season. A disappointing loss to open the year at the RCA Dome. They'll finish off the season with the upstart Colts. Smith remains in the backfield on 2nd and 5, and Smith getting the call. He gets sandwiched. Marco Coleman, first man there. Dan Wilkinson finishes him off. Well, for Norv Turner, Mark, where do you start as you prepare for next week's game at Philadelphia?
I think that guy right next to him, the defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan, something's got to be done with his defense. Everyone knows it. They're ranked last. They were exposed big time today. This is Mike Nolan right here, the defensive coordinator. Washington averages over 400 yards, giving up on defense. Over 400 yards for the Buffalo Bills already today. If you can't stop the opponent, you can't win games. Plain and simple.
Well, Bill Arnsparger, a defensive guru, was brought in here as a sort of consultant for the team, and things had improved the last couple of weeks. Antoine Smith on a stutter step move. He's trying to move those feet forward. Dana Stubblefield made the tackle.
And I'll never forget with Joe Gibbs, the first thing he always said, we're led by defense. If they don't score, we can't lose. And I'll never forget that.
We'll talk more about that after the 2-minute warning. Step aside. Bills in control. They lead Washington 34-17.
Hello? Server? Got it.
Total total participation, and this means everyone, all working to make sure you get the absolute best experience possible.
Mr. Thurber, you're all set.
Introducing 5-Star, a new approach to selling and servicing cars and trucks. That's better. We'll prove it. Only where you see these signs.
Ew, smell this.
Ooh.
It's green, it stinks. And it's, hey, boss, Marty! Marty! Hey, Marty! Who buys this stuff? It stinks!
Well, Fletcher, the people who buy that stinky cheese also buy 92% of the miniature vegetables we sell. Wow, look at the margins on miniature vegetables.
How can he know that?
He's just making it up. No, I'm not.
Castrol GTX 10W30 provides maximum protection against both viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your oil breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX. Drive hard.
This is a competing antiperspirant. And this is new Brood with Trimax, which fights odor and prevents wetness. Women who are pregnant, nursing, or may become pregnant should not handle broken containers of Brood. Ask your girlfriend if Brood is right for you.
He's all of 13 years old and is on trial for murder. He's also on 60 Minutes, talking to Ed Bradley, tonight.
(34-17) Buffalo. Coaches like Steve Mariucci have traded in their VCRs for computers. See the convergence of coaches and computers only on NFL.com. It's 4th down for Buffalo, and they will go for it on a 4th and 6. Coming up next, some of you will see Pittsburgh at San Francisco. Others will catch Denver at San Diego. Doubleheader action today here on CBS. On 4th and 6, 2 minutes to play on the 4th. Movement. It was Jonathan Linton who was going to get the carry, as he has a chance to go over 100 yards for the first time in his career.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 33 of the offense, a 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Sam Gash called on the penalty.
Sam Gash, one of the best blocking fullbacks in the NFL. He's a Pro Bowler, and he's a guy who rarely gets his name called. He's one of those guys in the trenches like an offensive lineman, but without him, he's so key and so vital to this offense, they wouldn't have a running game in Buffalo. No catches the entire season, but he does have 13 receptions coming into the game.
So on 4th and 9, Gash moves in motion. It is Jonathan Linton. And he is brought down shy of the 20-yard line. He will not get to the 100-yard plateau on that carry, as Derek Smith made the stop, and Washington will take over on downs. I want to just let you know, time permitting, we hope to get you to the Kansas City-Indianapolis matchup in the 4th quarter. Depending upon what happens here in the final minute 53, Washington taking over. Also gives us a chance to tell you that the executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Terry Ewert. Coordinating director of the NFL on CBS is Larry Cavallina. Today's game produced by Victor Frank, directed by Mark Grant. Our whole crew has done a great job today and all season. Senior producer of the NFL Today, Eric Mann, directed by Bob Mattina. Associate director for today's game, Chris Svensson, and the broadcast associate, Andrew Hahn. Albert Connell makes the catch, and he is brought down at the 45-yard line. Time continues to tick away at the 1:36 mark and counting. Line of scrimmage is the 44. Here's Johnson underneath, and quickly tackled is Stephen Alexander. Flag on the play as Henry Jones made the stop. Washington able to get it to midfield. But the penalty against Buffalo may be Bruce Smith, who came in on Brad Johnson.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 78 of the defense. Penalized 15 yards and a 1st down.
take another look at the end of the play. The ball's thrown. Bruce wants to get that rush in there, but it's hitting him with his helmet in the back. That's a legitimate call by the official. It's a nasty hit. Great call by the officiating staff. That's just frustration by Bruce Smith. He's been battling all day. Very close to getting a sack, but still hasn't gotten there yet, but that's a bad play.
Yeah, I think he knew it just as he was coming in, then tried to pull back on the jersey of Brad Johnson, but the damage was already done, and he gets penalized for it. From the 35 now, Johnson throwing underneath the coverage to Brian Mitchell. And he is brought down at the 25-yard line, right around the first down marker, a little bit short. Marlo Perry made the tackle.
Here's the point of the game, Ian. Offensively, you think you're getting something going. You're moving the ball, but defensively, it's prevent. They're going to let you catch the underneath things, let you move the ball down the field, but you forget you're taking time off the clock and you're helping the defense.
Pass is broken up by Ken Irvin. Albert Connell was the man who was in the area for Washington, and the clock stops with 56 seconds left.
Good play by Ken Irvin on defense, reading the play, reading the ball, goes up, almost interception, but Albert Connell trying to fight for the ball. Not enough at the end of the play, but Ken Irvin's played an outstanding game. Talking to Ken Irvin before the game, hey, his goal is just to be more consistent. He knows that they're going to test him a lot more than Thomas Smith, because Thomas Smith is known as a better cover man, but he's done an outstanding job in this game and has had a very good year.
You know, Westbrook and Connell came in as the most prolific receiving duo in the NFL this season. They have been neutralized here today as Johnson throws long ball down the sideline for the end zone. It was Westbrook this time, the intended receiver, incomplete. And now 51 seconds remain. It's 4th and 1 for Washington.
And what they've been able to do, the Redskins come out with a lot of package. The Bills defense, they didn't make it confusing. They stayed very base vanilla defense, stayed with their 34. They didn't shift a lot of people around, but they got physical on the outside with the Redskins receivers.
Tough for you to answer this, I know, Mark, but give it a whirl. Can Washington respond from this? Can they recover from this? How damaging a loss is this for Norv Turner and company?
Very damaging. It's going to be difficult, and it's the defense. Here's the keys to this team. If you can't stop anybody, you're not going to win. I said that before. Offensively, they're going to have to outscore opponents, and they're going to have to score early, as we found out in this game. If they don't score early and take a major lead over opponents, they've got a tough time winning games.
Brian Mitchell gets the first down as he got out to the 15-yard line. 12 yards on the ground for Mitchell. Now only 35 seconds remain. Quick throw on the slant. Could have been picked off by Thomas Smith. Incomplete. Stopping the clock with 29 seconds to play. Albert Connell, the intended receiver.
But the key for the Washington Redskins, Ian, and Norv Turner in this team, he's got to go in and confront his team, and he's got to tell them point blank, we're 5-3, the halfway point. If we finish as we started at 5-3, we make the playoffs. Let's concentrate on the second half. Let's forget about this game. It's a bad game. It's a throwout game. Right here, they're tied with the Giants at 5-3. The first half of the season's over. Now we start anew. Take one game at a time. The old philosophy, let's win one at a time. Finish the season on a positive note.
To the end zone. Could not be hauled in by Albert Connell. Smith was there defensively. And as we took a look at those standings, Connell is slow to get up. He is sprawled out just to the side. Albert Connell continues to lay on his back. Let's take another look.
Tight coverage by Thomas Smith, the cornerback, fighting for the football. He just lands right square on his back, on his side. Oh. Could have the wind knocked out.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. So the medical team for Washington comes out onto the field to attend to Albert Connell as we take a look at updated standings in the AFC East. And Buffalo, with this victory, improved to 6-3.
Wow, the most competitive division in the NFL.
It is.
Without a doubt. And this is the team that really surprises you right there, the New York Jets. At the beginning of the season, you thought the Jets would be 6-1 at this point rather than 1-6, but because of injuries in the NFL, it's a long season. You've got to keep players healthy, one. And it's also, I keep saying a long season because it is. There are two halves to the season, and for the Washington Redskins, they've got to find a way to pick up the pieces in the second half. But for the Buffalo Bills, there's Wade smiling again. Wade Phillips. It took him a long time last week to finally smile, and he's happy with his team because he's a stand-up guy. The pressure in Buffalo on his quarterback, stood behind his quarterback. Pressure in Buffalo in the area about, does Bruce Smith have it anymore? Of course he does. He's got a tight-knit group with this team. He knows how to win football games.
Well, Albert Connell continues to lay on his back. The helmet is not off yet. He has been able to move his knees and his legs around. He is breathing very heavy, and now they're going to help him up. Quick update in the AFCs. The Jets with the victory over Arizona, so they do improve to 2-6. Connell will walk this one off, and I think, as you mentioned, Mark, might have been just the wind knocked out of him and seeing some stars as well.
He landed in an awkward position.
His
body was twisted on his ribs. It could be a rib injury or the air knocked out of him. And a lot of people look at NFL players and football players in general saying, well, that doesn't hurt. They've got all that padding on. I'll tell you, it hurts.
Yeah.
Particularly in the rib area because you're not protected. Unless you're wearing a flap jacket like a quarterback, you're not going to be protected in that area. Wide receivers don't wear those unless they're injured. Offensive linemen definitely don't wear those. That's an exposed area.
But a good sign, though, that Connell is able to walk off the field. Redskins are left with a 3rd and 10 at the 24-yard line. This was a quick moving game through 3 quarters, and then because of that big lead for Buffalo, Washington has been forced to throw on just about every down that they've been faced with in the 4th quarter. And we're wrapping things up here with 20 seconds left. Johnson dropped by Brian Mitchell. Marlowe Perry was there defensively. And now only 18 seconds remain, and Washington has it on 4th and 10.
And I question a little bit about the offense. When we spoke with Brad Johnson, he told us that one week it'll be Michael Westbrook. The next week it'll be Albert Connell. Then Stephen Davis didn't get catches. We'll give him the ball a couple of times the following week. Well, there's a player in this offense that needed to get the ball against this defense to make something happen. That's Larry Centers. He didn't get the ball today. Here's a guy that's one of the best pass-catching receivers out of the backfield, and he didn't get the opportunity to make plays today.
Throwing Johnson to the end zone. Well, they call it an interception for Kurt Schultz. Going the other way, interception, Schultz. And a fitting way for this Buffalo defense to end things here this afternoon, because it is the defense that did its job today, and the offense came along for the ride as well. What a balanced effort today for the Buffalo Bills, something that they've been searching for when they got the offense and the defense on the same page. It bounced off the back of Michael Westbrook into the hands of Schultz. And now Buffalo can just run out the clock. Only the 3rd interception of the season for Brad Johnson. Final play, and that's it. Buffalo with back-to-back wins along the Beltway. Last week, the victory